That's why Pyro Signs is your one-stop comprehensive sign solution, no matter how big or small. Call 636-464-0200 or visit pyrosigns.com. Pyro Signs, the official sign company of your St. Louis Blues.
Bob continued to build his legacy here in Chicago, where he spent over 3 decades with the Blackhawks, serving as coach, general manager, and senior executive. Bob helped lead the organization to 8 division titles and a 28-season playoff streak that still ranks as the second longest in NHL history. The Blackhawks would also like to honor the memory of Hall of Fame goaltender Glenn Hall, who sadly passed away earlier today. A Hockey Hall of Famer, Hall led the Blackhawks to the 1961 Stanley Cup Championship, earned the Calder Trophy as the NHL's top rookie, won the Vezina Trophy 3 times, and captured the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP. Mr. Goalie was a 7-time first-team All-Star and set an NHL record with 502 consecutive regular season starts in goal, an Iron Man standard that defines greatness. In recognition of his impact on this franchise, the team retired Glenn's #1, which proudly hangs in the rafters here tonight. Extend our deepest condolences to Bob and Glenn's family, friends, and everyone in the Blackhawks community who mourns the loss of these 2 iconic individuals. Please join us now in a moment of silence in memory of Bob Pulford and Mr. Goalie, Glenn Hall. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now, please stand if you are able. Please remove your hats and join us in honoring United States Army veteran Sergeant Steve Solomon and United States Army veteran Captain Paul Shevlin, as well as all of our military, home and abroad, as organist Terry Marcotte and soloist Jim Corneliuson perform our national anthem.
If you need anything encouraging that tells you the rivalry is still alive, all you had to do is hear Blues and Blackhawks fans yell at each other during the moment of silence.
That was a great start to the evening.
Yeah.
I don't know who was barking at who, but it sounded good. And that was Jim Corneliuson. And, you know, Curbs, it's been over 2 years since we've been here, and that's certainly something I have missed. You know what, Connor Bedard getting drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks, it has revitalized this organization for The last time we were here, boy, half these seats seemed empty, and you're seeing a great crowd here this evening for the St. Louis Blues and Blackhawks matchup, and I'm looking forward to this one.
Jordan Binnington between the pipes. Tyler Tucker, Justin Falk, the defensive grouping. Shen, Buchnevich, Snuggerud to start it off. St. Louis Blues. They're talking Grizzlick and Murray. Defensively. And the Hawks win the opening draw. They dump it into the Blues zone. Falk back to get it. They quickly tried to center. On the intercept, and Buchnevich there to break it up for the Blues. Tucker will get it up ice. Shoot it into the Hawk zone. Go all the way to win the puck on the forecheck. Snuggerud swings the stick along the boards. It comes loose to Shen. To Tucker. He scores! Tyler Tucker. Playing
that. Tyler Tucker, he led the rush offensively. He's going to get in on the forecheck. He's going to grind down low. What I love about it is Curbs. He stays around the battle in this near side corner. The puck goes free to the captain behind the net, and just a beautiful pass right on the tape as Tyler Tucker drives the front. Spencer Knight goes down. He goes right over the glove, and you saw the bench and Jim Montgomery's reaction. Huge smile on the face for Tyler for his second of the year. And that's got to be a great jolt for this group. Anytime you see a bottom defenseman or a depth forward score early, it gets the boys going.
27 seconds in. Hawks to the near side now. Vlasic clears it. Over to the far wing they go. Mikheyev puts it over the line. They're offside. 19:17 to go. Just underway. Tyler Tucker from Braden Shen. I don't know if Snuggerud actually touched that puck before the Hawks did to add him to the assist. We'll find that out later. But right now it is Tucker's second of the year. Shen's 9th assist. And that's Braden Shen now at points in 4 of the last 6 games for the Blues. Dalibor Dvorsky wins that face-off. Flanked by the 2 Swedes, Berggren and Stenberg. And the puck off Dvorsky into the zone. Stenberg still looking for that first goal in the NHL. Moves in on the forecheck. Throws the body into Murphy, now to Berggren. Berggren dangles out high to the line. Broberg with a shot on. And a save made by Spencer Knight. That puck cleared out, and Broberg back to get it for St. Louis. He'll clear to center. The Hawks get it back and bring it into the Blues zone on the far wing. And they dump it down into the corner. Played by Oliver Moore. And now Dvorsky snagging it behind the St. Louis net. Chased out by Donato. And as he moves that one up to the red line, it's backhanded into the Chicago zone. Vlasic quickly the other way. Donato's got the line. Fans on a shot as he's tied up by Mayu. And then getting checked along the near wing was Thomas, but with help from neighbors, Blues clear the zone. Kyrou's going to come back. Send a nice pass up the near wing to Thomas. Checked into by Kaiser. But Donato there sends it over to the far wing. Coming off of Artyom Leshunov. And around the boards it goes on the dump, and it ends up out at center ice. 2 minutes gone here in the first period. Blues have 2 shots on goal. None for the Blackhawks. 1-0 Blues on Tyler Tucker's second of the year. Mayu behind his net goes over to Cam Fowler. Nice keeping by the Hawks. A good break up in the middle of the ice by Mayu. Now to Vlasic looking into traffic. Dangles down low. Circles the goal with it. Goes to the line. There's a bomb on and a save by Binnington on a heavy shot from Crevier, who's had 3 slap shots during a game this season, individually charted at over 103 miles an hour.
Yeah, and that's really given Morgan Geekie a lot of competition. Morgan Geekie has had a couple that have topped off at 102, 103 as well. But for Crevier, and Jim Blashill talked about him this morning, the head coach, of course, more attempts since Christmas than any player on this team. When he gets the puck at the point, he goes one direction.
Burakovsky shot on. Second save of the game by Binnington. Puck to Buchnevich on the near wing. Tucker goes to center again and dumps it in. Rim to the near side. Off the skate of Buchnevich to Snuggerud. Snuggerud along the wing. Goes to the far point to Tucker. Shot deflected down. Murphy put it back to the corner. Another read. What a pass by Snuggerud and a slap shot. Schenn, that's blocked. Comes to the near side. Grzelcyk will clear it. Up ice to the blue zone. Falk will go after the puck. Rink wide to Tucker. Outlet pass to Buchnevich. To Schenn, skating in. To the middle. He tried to tuck it in. Knight makes the save. Blues draw the penalty. Schenn pointed to center ice, wanting a breakaway for a penalty shot, but the referee says nope, just a hold.
Chicago number 55, 2-minute marker, holding.
Yeah, I think this is the right call. I don't think he was necessarily in the clear, but he still gets a quality shot off, and now the Blues will head to the power play, but it was really just an exceptional pass from Pavel Buchnevich. The Blues are coming out of their D zone. They snap it up to Buchnevich. He's at the near side blue line here, then he kicks it right to the middle with speed. You can tell right off the bat the Blues, especially this line with Schenn, extremely connected early on in this game.
Shunov in the penalty box for holding. Blues to work on the Ameren power play. Thomas to Dvorsky, shot on. Knight makes the save. Snuggerud to the line. Fowler back to Snuggerud, far wing to the goal line. Thomas into the middle, trying to find Buchnevich. It's amazing how that play just hasn't been there all season long, and it just doesn't connect.
You know what, and Curbs, if it does, it is a grade A chance. It is probably going to end up in the back of the net, and that's why players force it so much.
Over to the far wing off Thomas, and a puck cleared out of the zone by Chicago. Blues averaging 2.2 shot attempts, not on goal, shot attempts per 2 minutes of power play time. It's the lowest in the National Hockey League. It's quite surprising considering some of the offensive minds they have out there. As Kyrou's going to dump it in. Wrapped around. Good stop along the wing. Neighbors to the line. Falk leading the team with 11 goals. And up to the line it goes. Justin Falk over to the far wing. Kyrou to the goal line. Schenn tried to go short side. It hit the post, goes out of play. 39 seconds to go in the penalty.
Boy, I tell you, Braden Schenn, he has been extremely active to start this game. You know, we talked to him this morning. He said he was ready to go. You know, he came in extra energized. You never know how these games are going to play out. You remember the last game that the Blackhawks and the Blues played, it was actually Schenn with 0.8 seconds to go actually hurt Bedard on that last faceoff. Unintentional, of course, but still. You know, for him, he said, yeah, I came in, I wasn't really sure what to expect. To hear the comments from Jeff Blashill and some of the players, they all seem to think it was a good hockey play and definitely eased him up, I think, a little bit. But he's had a lot of fire here to start this game. Got the primary assist on Tucker. He drew a penalty and a solid chance on the short side of the power play, too.
Yeah, Blashill telling the media that this morning that play had nothing to do with that injury. Puck to the line. Falk shooting it. Blocked down in front. Knocked to the near wing. Hawks clear it out. 12 seconds to go in the power play. And it ends up actually going out of play, and that's good news for the Blues. Or no, they're going to call another penalty on Chicago. So actually, it's going to be Mikheyev to the box.
Chicago number 95, 2-minute marker, delay the game.
Because it went out of play from their own zone.
Yeah, well, you know what? It ended up going the distance of the ice, almost cleared it, curved right around the red line, almost the far blue line. But the original point of contact on the shot was from the defensive zone. So that's why it got a little bit tricky there for the referees, but a great eye. And now 12 seconds to a 5-on-3. Be nice to see if the Blues can win this faceoff and set up a nice little one-timer before the Hawks get one guy back.
Fowler and Snuggerud back there. The Blues win the draw. Buchnevich to Fowler. Fowler to Snuggerud, and wow, a one-timer. Saved by Knight. Back to Snuggerud again. Far circle, goal line. Thomas coming to Buchnevich, blocked away. Now 5-on-4. Look out. They didn't warn Fowler. Leshunov knocked it away, and he gets it out to center ice.
Yeah, usually you hear the goaltender talk. I think Binnington was banging his stick, but, you know, if you're Cam Fowler, a little bit more awareness, recognizing the time on the clock, and you know you're going to feel some pressure soon.
Dvorsky's going to take it down into the corner. I love seeing that one-timer there from Snuggerud.
I did too, Curves. Exactly how we drew it up. You got 12 seconds, 5-on-3. Throw it at the net.
Thomas trying to move it to the middle. 6'8" Crevier checks him to the wall. Fowler at the line. Blues on their second Ameren power play of the hockey game. Now to Fowler. In front, deflected shot. Comes to the end boards. Recovered by Dvorsky to Buchnevich. Trying to go to Snuggerud. They get it to him. Crevier's going to pinch him. But it's Snuggerud again. Getting knocked to his knees. He keeps the puck. Then gets the help from Buchnevich. Thomas to Fowler. They keep it in the zone. On the power play, another 47 seconds. Thomas. Back to Fowler, now to Dvorsky. The penalty killing by Chicago, by the way. Third best home penalty kill in the NHL. Fowler to the middle for the deflection. Doesn't go anywhere. Blocked by Crevier. They're trying to find that seam. Here's Snuggerud. The wraparound blocked away. Comes to Dvorsky, back to Fowler. Now to Dvorsky. Shoots it with Snuggerud. That's just off the goal. He goes in behind the net. Another recovery by the Blues. But getting to it, Wyatt Kaiser lost it. Dvorsky gets it. Over to Thomas. 8 seconds to go in their second consecutive power play. Snuggerud turns, wraparound on. Spencer Knight the save. And that'll do it. The Hawks with 2 really good penalty kills for the 4th overall ranked penalty kill in the league.
Yeah, full 2 minutes for the Robert Thomas grouping. Oh, look out. Oh, man, Kaiser just misses that pass where he's got a clear breakaway. But really good pressure for St. Louis, but can't find the back of the net. Great save.
Hawks down 1-0. Burakovsky caught by Parayko, and they're going to give Parayko a penalty. The puck to the far wing. Deflected down into the corner, Bertuzzi. Extra man on. Wrist shot. Deflects to the corner. Parayko's going to get there. A hooking call. Oh, and it's going to be on Broberg, not Parayko, actually. So Broberg without a disagreement to the penalty box.
Yeah, they're going to switch it back to Parayko.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Broberg was in front. You had it right originally. Yeah, they're going to call Francis Ferrand. Going to put Parayko in there for a hook as we take our first break of this game. 1-0 Blues. Back in a moment. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is John Bomarito. Your search for a pre-owned vehicle starts at Bomarito. Our massive inventory means that you'll find your perfect ride ready right now. Search and buy online or in-store. For pre-owned, it's Bomarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at bomarito.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
88,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
When your heart needs extra care, experts at BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine are here. You'll find expert care close to home with leading-edge treatments, personalized care plans, and nationally recognized leaders in heart health dedicated to you. From prevention to common heart conditions to advanced treatment and recovery, we are here where and how your heart needs us. Find a heart specialist today. To learn more, visit bjc.org/heart or call 314-273-2315.
Well, welcome back to the United Center in Chicago. Blues up early on the Chicago Blackhawks. 1-0 courtesy of Tyler Tucker. Great overall power play for St. Louis. A lot of chances led by Jimmy Snuggerud right there with the 2 shots on goal, 3 attempts. And now for the Chicago Blackhawks, no Bedard. Of course, you got no Nazar. It has been Tyler Bertuzzi that has been carrying this team offensively lately. He has been hot. He will be the net front presence. The guy you have to keep an eye on. He's got great hand-eye coordination. He can tip with the best. And he's a little feisty kid in front, too, with those rebounds.
Yeah, Bertuzzi coming off of a game where he scored a hat-trick and had all 3 goals in an overtime win against Vegas their last game. There's the tip. Donato. Bennington makes the save. Covers up the puck, gets the whistle. Chicago was 0 for 2 in their last game on the power play against the Vegas Golden Knights. But prior to that, in their previous 3 games, They were 4 for 8, and that's without Frank Nazar and Connor Bedard.
Yeah, it's hard to believe right there, isn't it? That tip right there, set face-off play from Donato coming right down the middle. What a great redirection that was, and that one just missed on that left post there as Binnington, he wouldn't have got there in time.
Puck cleared around, sent out by the Blues. Blues penalty killing was 4 for 4 in the shutout against Montreal. 13 for 14 over their last 5 games. The only power play goal they've allowed was the power play goal in Colorado. Lev Shunov gets it back along the near side. And the young defenseman with 10 power play points dumps it in. Comes off the wall for Broberg to block it, but Lev Shunov holds it in. Now to Burakovsky at the line to Lev Shunov. Far wing they go. Goal line Bertuzzi. Back along the wall. Bertuzzi walks it in front. Jams it. Tries to knock it out of the air. It went wide and Falk clears the zone.
Yeah, he got the puck at the goal line. Kind of backed up his rear end for a little forehand shuffle. Tried to get under the bar. He got the shot off. Almost a rebound out of the air.
Thomas short-handed. He's got a couple shorties on the year. Hawks tried to send it up to Bertuzzi. Blocked away. And it's back into the Chicago zone. Lardis will get it up ice. Into the middle to Grzelcyk. Now to the near wing. They go far wing wide open.
His one-time goal, but it's really the pass across the seam from Oliver Moore. He's going to come down on this near side just to our left. That's Binnington's right. He's going to load up. He's got a left-handed shot, so he sticks to the outside, and he fakes a shot like you read about. Binnington drops, the Blues drop, and he slides it through 2 bodies right underneath the blade there of Pavel Buchnevich, right in the sweet spot for him to bury at Curbs. And like I said, it is without a doubt Lardis' goal, but it's really the exceptional passing of Oliver Moore and the great awareness, and the Blackhawks get that equalizer early on.
Well, that's how the game goes. The Blues took an early lead, had 2 minutes, 2 separate 2-minute power plays. Didn't score as the power play remains anemic. The Hawks score on their power play. We're tied 1-1. Puck deflected out of play as it enters the Hawks zone. Faceoff will stay inside the zone over on the far wing. Hey, the Blues Bar program is back. Go to stlouisblues.com/bars to find an official list of participating locations. While at an official bar, check in using a Blues app to win great prizes. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And with this bar bleeds blue, easy to win. Shen will take the face-off against Green. Puck bounced into the air, and then Green won it on the second play as it comes out of the zone. Good back check by Buchnevich, pushed it over to Mayu. Then to Fowler coming out of the zone. Snuggerud deflected it. Shen over the Hawks line. It's sent by Murphy right back out. As it comes back to the Chicago defenseman, he'll pass to Grzelcyk on the near wing. Now to the far side it goes. Up, down, and in by Colton Dock. He's leading the Hawks in hits by a large margin. 40 more hits than anybody else on his own team. And Mayu's going to bring the puck up ice to Colton Parayko. Dumped in, and Spencer Knight at one point looked like the heir apparent in Florida after getting drafted. The Bob, Sergei Bobrovsky said, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I'm good. Trade the kid. And they did to Chicago.
He had a great World Junior Championship and raised a lot of eyes there. They thought he was the next and upcoming thing. But like you mentioned, Curbs, the veteran from Columbus took over, and I think they made the right call there.
Robert into traffic. Shot deflected wide of the net. Dvorsky trying to race more to the puck, and it's knocked back to Parayko. He'll find Stenberg. Now Dvorsky over the line in the middle to Stenberg. The puck bounced over the blade of his stick. Kaiser, the young defenseman for the Hawks, will bring it to the near wing. Moore to center. In a 1-1 game, they dump it in. Even strength goal by Tucker, 27 seconds in. Power play goal by Lardis at 9:26. Donato into the far corner with it. Broberg defending along the wall. Mikheyev off the wing with it. Lost it. Thomas there to clear it. And Falk sends it out. Too far for Kyrou. Broken up by Vlasic. Blues get it back. Falk's going to shoot it in, and the Blues go in on the forecheck. Neighbors is there. Broken up by Kyrou, coming off the wall, and the Hawks manage to get it back. Donato makes the safe play, clears his own. Tyler Tucker goes to it. Over to the far wing now. Going to get hit by Dickinson. Sidesteps the check, and the puck ends up out of the zone, but whistled offside.
That's it, offside. Yeah. Okay. Jake stepped off just a little bit too soon as Jordan Kyrou came into the zone. He had a good little head of speed behind him, too. So we got to head to our second break of the period. Blackhawks get the power play goal. We're locked up at 1. Back in a moment. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
When the Blues win,
bring out the Zamboni.
You win too with the St. Louis Blues app. Every game this season that the Blues come out on top, you can redeem exclusive offers from Ballpark Village, Club Car Wash, Marcus Theaters, and Wendy's. Don't have the St. Louis Blues app yet? Get it now from the App Store and Google Play. And then after each win, open the Blues app and head to the offers page to claim your rewards. The St. Louis Blues app. Download today and get rewarded after every Blues win.
Like many top athletes, our pets give us their very best every day in every way. And because of our pets, Purina is doing more for the things that matter, for the ones who matter most. When you choose Purina, you're not just filling a bowl, you're helping fulfill a commitment to help pets and people live their best lives together. Learn how Purina is making a difference in the bowl and out of the bowl at Purina.com/cares. Purina, a proud sponsor of the St. Louis Blues.
Dear hockey fans, score big on the power play with Toyota's lineup of elite vehicles. Go coast to coast with the versatile RAV4 Hybrid, sporty Camry, and sleek Corolla. Or ride with the roomy Grand Highlander and tough-as-nails Tundra, Toyota's stout enforcers. Plus, with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, you'll power through slick conditions. Visit Toyota.com or check out your local Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places.
Back to the United Center. We got a 1-1 game. We were just talking about Spencer Knight. Of course, he was a part of the Florida Panthers Curbs, and he was involved with the Seth Jones trade. And listen, anytime a player gets traded, it's always tough for a player. But, boy, when you get traded, then you watch your team win a Stanley Cup. We talked to Robert Bortuzzo about that when, of course, he got traded from Pittsburgh to St. Louis. Ian Cole wins back-to-back cups. Seth Jones, of course, for the Panthers. And Spencer Knight sitting at home watching. That is just a feeling that you cannot compare to anything else in the National Hockey League.
And then it was extended here by Chicago as their goaltender of the future to grow with their young core here. Blues and Blackhawks separated by 1 point in the standings. Blues just 1 point up. Both teams as close to the high draft picks as they are to the playoffs right now. Sundqvist coming near side. Walker, first game back after missing the last 16 with an upper body injury, and the puck cleared out.
Yeah, and he had a really good recovery. It was expedited by a couple weeks, actually, and he said it just felt good. And I've been sitting on the sideline too long. I'm ready to go.
Over the line to Snuggerud. Shoots it. Knight's going to make the save. Man, I got to start loving that shooting mentality the last couple games for number 21.
Well, I think that's down his third shot on net. He had the 2 on the power play with one attempt that sailed wide. But, you know, you saw 5-on-3 moments ago. They win the faceoff. They tee him up. He throws in the cage. On the power play moments later at the goal line, he tries for that quick wrap. And then, you know, he's coming in on a rush right here. He buttons up. He looks like he can make it maybe a play or two. But what does he do? Has the authority and the presence just to throw it right at the net. And I'm with you, Curbs. I absolutely love it. I love seeing 21 throw that puck at the net.
Well, Joe, you came into this game and Jordan Kyrou and Justin Falk were tied for the team leads in shots on goal with 79 each.
You know, you're proud of Justin. You're happy for him. But like I said, that stat and that stat alone is pretty telling of what these top players need to start doing.
Snuggerud to the middle, but Buchnevich around left. Shoot off. Couldn't get it to the front of the net. Wraparound does on the effort. And a save by Knight. Cleared out. Too far for Slager. Binnington's going to come out, make the play to the far wing.
Boy, what a great play there by Binnington, because it looked like the forward here actually beat Colton Parayko back. Could have been a little bit of a breakaway there.
Coming off the wall. Broberg going in behind the net. That's Crevier. Oof. Berggren nearly got interfered with by Foligno. Kind of type of pick you might see in basketball, and Berggren's going to dump it in. Crevier after it. Dvorsky on him. Pass to the line. Blocked in. Falk with a shot. Shot it high. And this one goes off the wall to the far side. Played out by the Hawks. Moore will move it to Kaiser. Skates around Berggren from the red line. Dumps it in on net. Binnington puts it down. Stick handles to Tucker and then passes to Falk. Out of the ice, Jonathan Berggren. Wearing number 29. Brings it in, shoots it, goes off the skate. Hard for me to see that number and not think of Alexander Havanov. So puck comes to Teravainen. He'll dump it up ice on the right wing. Hawks to the blue zone. Lardis picked up his third goal of the year on the far wing, and it's kept at the line. Short hop to the front of the net, and Binnington's going to glove it and stop the puck.
Boy, that Jake Neighbors, he took a hit from Dickinson. He didn't even see Dickinson coming full speed off the bench. Jake's head was down. He picked it up at the last second. He actually got the better of Dickinson right there. Shows the solid body of the big boy Jake. And with a score locked up at 1 still with 5:24 to go, we're going to take our final break of the period. Stay with us. This is St. Louis Blues Hockey.
Your 2026 fitness journey deserves a better soundtrack.
Doug Wogan.
Find it with over 20 app-exclusive workout channels, including channels built to walk, jog, and run. Listen now for a limited time on Channel 105 and wherever your workout takes you.
Baby, we were born to run.
With the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
If you're 500 right now, you must play over 600 hockey. How many of these 600 teams are sustainable? At the very end of the day, playing musical chairs, there's only going to be a few spots and way too many butts. And the teams that lose will make but. And I think for some teams, the math is already not on their side.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
First period, we're tied 1-1. From celebrating every Blues goal to scoring ones in your own life, the key to being rich is knowing what counts. Line up an Edward Jones financial advisor to assist in achieving your goals. Learn more at edwardjones.com. Edward Jones, member SIPC. Hawks win the draw in the St. Louis zone. Bring it to the near side, and Kaiser's going to take a shot blocked in front by Broberg. Burakovsky battles along the near wing. Jammed up the wall. Sundqvist gets it out. Toropchenko brings it in on Levshunov. Tips the shoulder, drives the middle, draws the penalty. It's going to be that kind of a game as the Blues get it along the wing, and Bertuzzi's going to stop it. Joe, I got to tell you, it's that play. I don't know why we don't see it more and more often, because the moment you get on the inside of a guy, he can't touch you.
Yeah, Francis Sherron's mic's not working. You know, Curbs, to your point, Jim Montgomery talked about this drive play. It's a similar play that Toropchenko scored in a couple games ago in Vegas. They call it that kind of six-hole drive where he said, you know, three things really are going to happen. You're going to score a goal, you're going to create a chance, or you're going to draw a penalty. And that's exactly right, because once you get one step, you get to the inside, you drive that inside shoulder. Those three options are really the only three options that come to play.
Blues win the face-off. Kyrou to the goal line. Neighbors walks it in front on the backhand. Knight stuffed it. And the Hawks clear to the neutral zone.
Well, Curve, we saw Jimmy Snuggerud on the jam. We saw a nice chance for Neighbors. Clearly the goal line's wide open. They're taking it there, too.
Coming off of Kyrou, they go to Falk, the backhand of the far wing. Neighbors through to Berggren, out high to Falk. Down to the bottom of the circle, Kyrou. They tried the middle play. That's blocked. Kyrou has it. In behind the net. Shen straight away. Falk to Berggren. Good read there on the play of Vlasic, and the puck deflects out of the playing area. 10 rows back into the crowd.
Yeah, you know, a couple opportunities for Justin Falk and Braden to probably release that puck at the net. Just maybe one or two too many passes there as Vlasic reads that last one to Berggren, gets a stick on and out of play. That unit's out there to throw rubber at the net. That's the main job for Justin Falk and that group of five, and they just didn't do it enough.
Another face-off win by the Blues. Dvorsky to the goal line. Thomas to the middle. Buchnevich. But Dickinson blocked it right in front of him, and now the play to the far wing, and Crevier gets to it. Fowler to Thomas. At the line, Buchnevich spins it down to Thomas into the slot. Snuggerud took a shot, blocked. Second one, it went wide. Fowler's got a race to the far wing, got it there. Dumps it wide of the net to the near wing for Dvorsky. Now off Snuggerud. Pushing it back to the far side. Thomas on the Blues' third power play, 35 seconds to go. Crevier forced it out. Thomas tried to bring it back in. Now they get it over the line to Dvorsky. Down low to Snuggerud, going into the corner with it. He'll make the play along the wing. Buchnevich to Dvorsky. Didn't shoot it. Sends it back to the point. Fowler to Thomas. Fowler near wing. Dvorsky in the slot. Backhanded on. Buchnevich. Spencer Knight to save.
What a nice little bumper play that was. As Dalibor Dvorsky on this near side, he scored a few this year in that set. He goes to hit the one-timer curves, and right at the last second, he's going to slide a little 4 to 5 foot puck right to the middle. He draws Vlasic to him, kicks it to the middle. Buchnevich goes forehand, backhand, try going over the glove. You know what, Spencer Knight has allowed that first goal on Tyler Tucker, but since then, Curbs, 11 shots have hit him, and he has been super razor sharp here, especially on the kill.
12 shots on goal for the Blues already. Broberg takes a slapper that deflects out of play. 2 seconds to go in the holding penalty. Second penalty of the game for holding on Levshunov. And the Blues have only hit the 30 shot on goal plateau 7 times all season. Just 4 times in the last 31 games, and they've already got 12 shots on net in the first 17 minutes of this game. Shen against Dickinson on the draw. Hawks win it, and the puck cleared out. Blues 0 for 3 on the power play. Now 0 for their last 11 on the last 5 games. Vlasic going down into the corner. Shen to Kyrou. Whoa, Neighbors was open. Couldn't get it to him. They get it to Shen. He shoots. Blocked in front by Green. Chicago will clear it. Well, you're getting chances, Joe. This feels like a stay-the-course kind of game, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. You're getting chances from just about everyone. Lively boards behind Spencer Knight there, too. Some of these keep bouncing out in front.
Green will clear. Bertuzzi dropped it back. Vlasic rims it around. They go to the line. Crevier. Bertuzzi behind the goal. Back to Crevier, out of the line. Kaiser to Crevier. Wrist shot through some traffic. It's loose. Toropchenko finds the puck, and he skates away with it to the blue line. Passes up to the near wing for Walker. Missed him. That's an icing call.
Wow, that's a perfect example of what we saw in Montreal, or versus Montreal, rather, in St. Louis the last game, was the forwards converging in front. This shot once again from Crevier. Again, he's got more attempts and shots than any Blackhawks player since that Christmas-December month. Throws it at the net. There's so many bodies in front, and Toropchenko's the forward on that weak side. He comes down, helps out, clears away that puck. Great defensive play.
1:53 to go. First period. Tucker scored 27 seconds in from Shen. Lardis tied it up with a power play goal at 9:26. Moore and Grzelcyk assisting on the power play tally. Chicago with the puck off the far wing. And Moore's shot gets blocked away. Blues will clear it again. Icing is whistled.
Yeah, that puck came up on end curbs. And it rolled all the way. It didn't look like it was going to make it. And, you know, when that puck lays flat, obviously, because of the surface area on the ice, it's going to move a lot slower. But as soon as it pops up on end, the thing will roll like a tire going down a hill. It won't stop.
More on the face-off. Back in the St. Louis Blues zone to the right side of Jordan Binnington. Dvorsky on the draw. Blues have been pretty dominant on face-offs in the game so far as the Hawks center and Binnington turned it away. Chicago only has one centerman above 50% on the season in this game, and that's Oliver Moore. Kaiser over to Lev Shunov. Dealt with a ton of injuries last year, healthy this year, and starting to show the reasons that he was a 5th overall pick to the neutral zone. Dvorsky over the line. Toe drag. What a move by Tyler Tucker. They give him Ray Bork's stick.
I tell you what, he's been all offense this whole first period. Remember, he got the scoring going there on that first shift. And then he makes a nice, confident move right at the blue line. This is all or nothing. If you make a toe drag and you get around him, you're going to get a shot. That's what we saw. If this gets poked free, it's a breakaway for the Chicago Blackhawks forward there. But like I said, Curbs, that move comes down to one thing: simple confidence.
Draw in the Hawk zone. This time Thomas kicking after it. Another good win by the Blues. Down along the wing it goes from Neighbors. Kyrou off the wall with Alex Vlasic chasing him. The handoff sent to May, who had been pitched in. Back to Kyrou along the near wing. Trying to keep that from Alex Vlasic. Draped all over him. Down to Neighbors. Racing for contact. Brevier holding him in on the wall. Jake still gets a stick on it. Tries to spin around and kicks it loose to the far corner, but Dickinson is there. And Jake going right after him. That was O'Reilly relentlessness. One of the Blues goes down on the play, and he looks like he might be hurt.
That's Thomas.
And that's Thomas, who fell backwards. Remember, he had fallen backwards a few games ago. Thought he was injured, didn't miss a game. This one he's slow to get up, Joe. I didn't like the way he went down.
No, I didn't either. He gets up on his own term, which is a good sign. Boy, he's definitely laboring. He reaches down nice and slow to get his stick. He's going to make it back to the bench on his own, so that's a positive. You know, Curbs, a few games ago in Colorado, he got hurt in that Avalanche game. Yeah. He missed the last minute or so, but didn't miss a ton. We were surprised to see him in the lineup against the Vegas Golden Knights. That was 2 games ago, and then, of course, the back-to-back Montreal, which were probably his 2 best games of the year. He's going to get back to the bench. Very slow, but no discussions from trainers. No one's going down to see him. Taking some deep breaths and trying to get out of this period. 7.9 left.
Puck goes off the wall in the Hawks zone. They won the draw. Murphy launches it out. 3 seconds to go. Near wing. They dump it in behind the net. And the first 20 minutes ends up in a 1-1 tie. We've got the Blues and Blackhawks sitting neck and neck in the standings. The Blues 6 in the division. Chicago 7. St. Louis with 42 points. Chicago with 41. The game that's going to happen even just a little later on here is a big one, because the 2 wildcard teams, Joe, San Jose and LA, are going head-to-head. That's one you hope does not go to overtime.
No, you don't. You know someone's getting points in that game, so that's not a positive. You know, it's a great situation here for both teams to not only get points, but to do something they haven't done all season long, and that's get to that win streak. For Chicago, they're still going for number 4 in a row. They have the 3 already, and for St. Louis, they're looking for their first 3-game winning streak. So something's going to give here by the time we leave the United Center here in a couple hours, but a great first period. Tyler Tucker getting things rocking and rolling. The Blackhawks answer on the power play. Really good back and forth. 23 shots on goal. So a lot of offense, exciting first period here at the United Center.
Yeah, and you know, Alex, as we send it back to you, the last time the St. Louis Blues were at 500 with their overall record, it was October 23rd after a 7-4 loss at home to Utah. And they were 3-3-4, right? So this is the 6th opportunity since that game, that they've had a chance to get back to 500. They're 17, 18, and 8 on the season. They got to one game over 500 with the last home game in terms of their home record. They're 2 below on the road. This is one of those games where it could really help push you. So a big couple periods coming up after a solid 1-1 first.
Yeah, and I really loved Jim Montgomery's answer to that a couple days ago when he was asked, why the team hasn't been able to get to a 3-game win streak. And he said, I don't know. But he said, if history serves us as of last season, he said 3 led to 12 in a row. So hopefully that can happen for this Blues team. Guys, we'll talk to you for the second period. But before that, we've got our on-the-run intermission report to take care of. We are going to recap that first period. And if you missed it earlier in our pregame show, I had a conversation with Glenn Hall back in 2016. Of course, Glenn passing away earlier this evening. So I'll replay a little bit of a chunk of that in case you may have missed it. Glenn Hall talking about his time with the St. Louis Blues. That and some score updates around the National Hockey League. Maybe a little prospect report sprinkled in. All of that coming your way next. Our on-the-run intermission report as we get a 1-1 hockey game. Blues and Blackhawks. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
When you team up with Scott Credit Union, your membership makes impact. It matters. To you, your family, and your finances. But also to the kids at the school down the street, the local animal shelter, and the park in your neighborhood. Because your membership does more than let Scott Credit Union offer great rates and services. It allows us to contribute in the community. Your community. Our community. Join something bigger. Your membership matters at Scott Credit Union, SCU.org.
Dear hockey fans, score big on the power play with Toyota's lineup of elite vehicles. Go coast to coast with a versatile RAV4 hybrid, sporty Camry, and sleek Corolla. Or ride with the roomy Grand Highlander and tough-as-nails Tundra, Toyota's stout enforcers. Plus, with available all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, you'll power through slick conditions. Visit Toyota.com or check out your local Toyota dealership. Toyota, let's go places.
Tripping on the ice or tripping on uneven concrete around your home is bad. Louis Loves Woods to fix uneven concrete, and that's where you go for your free Woods Basement Systems estimate. LouisLovesWoods.com. That's Louis, L-O-U-I-E, LouisLovesWoods.com. Don't replace it, raise it. Concrete leveling with Woods Basement Systems. Go to LouisLovesWoods.com. That's LouisLovesWoods.com.
And we're out. Back in 60.
Hey, what are you eating? Chimichurri filet mignon. It's a Factor meal. Oh, nice. Wait, they let you eat like that in the pros? Oh, they insist on it. A pro's work starts on the plate. Oh, man, that does look good. Let me have a taste? Get your own. All right. Where do I find this? Is it factormeals.com? Yep, and they've got a deal going on. Oh, love a deal. I am so in. Smart move. Pro move. All right. Factor. Eat like a pro.
You like saving money, right? We all do. That's why Allstate just lowered the price of car insurance. But wait, there's a catch. Lower. Actually lower. So if you're shopping around or just want to see how much you could save, check Allstate first for a new lower auto rate that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Win the opening draw. They dump it into the Blues zone. Buck back to get it. They quickly tried to center on the intercept, and Buchnevich there to break it up for the Blues. Tucker will get it up ice. Shoot it into the Hawk zone. Go all the way to win the puck on the forecheck. Snuggerud swings the stick along the boards. It comes loose to Shen. To Tucker. He scores! Tyler Tucker. Playing like a forward. 27 seconds in. 1-0 St.
congrats if you were crazy enough to bet on Tyler Tucker anytime goal or maybe the first goal of the hockey game, because I guarantee that one paid out 27 seconds in, and Curbs nailed it on the call. Tyler Tucker treating it as if he's a forward. He not only puts the puck in behind the net, goes in on the forecheck to help retrieve the puck, and then goes straight to the front of the net and gets the pass from Braden Shen and a quick shot. Tyler Tucker's second goal of the year, and that is the third fastest goal scored this season to start a period. Welcome, everyone, into our On the Run intermission report. Alex Ferrario with you. On the Run, where Blues fans score the best deals on snacks and sips on game day and every day. It's on at On the Run. The Blues came out of this start of the game the way I expected them to. With 3 days off, they came out flying, buzzing. They scored the goal 27 seconds, and on top of that, they were out shooting the Chicago Blackhawks about 5 minutes into the period, 6-2, 13-10 overall shots in that first period. A lot of it was a result of the Blues getting back-to-back Ameren power play opportunities. The Blues would get opportunities, but just couldn't cash in.
Berggren dangles out high to the line. Broberg with a shot on. And a save made by Spencer Knight. Brink wide to Tucker. Outlet pass to Buchnevich. To Shen, skating in. To the middle. He tried to tuck it in. Knight makes the save. Blues draw the penalty. Fowler and Snuggerud back there. The Blues win the draw. Buchnevich to Fowler. Fowler to Snuggerud. And wow, a one-timer. Saved by Knight. Over the line to Snuggerud. Shoots it. Knight's going to make the save. Thomas to Dvorsky. Shot on. Knight makes the save. 8 seconds to go in their second consecutive power play. Snuggerud turns, wrap around on. Spencer Knight the save.
3 scoring chances for the Blues at 5-on-5. 15 total scoring chances for the Blues in all situations. That means they had 11 scoring chances on 3 Ameren power play opportunities. Unfortunately, were not able to score on any of them. Had 7 total high danger chances. So the Blues were generating the offense there. Spencer Knight and the Chicago Blackhawks defense doing a great job of keeping things away from the net. But the Blackhawks would be the one that contributed on special teams because they'd get their first power play chance about 3 minutes after the Blues has ended.
Lardis will get it up ice. Into the middle to Grizzly. Out of the near wing. They go far wing. Wide open. Wide open. It's Nick Lardis on a cross-ice seam pass. And to a wide open net. Power play goal Blackhawks. We're tied 1-1.
Look, it's never fun when the Blackhawks score, but sometimes you just got to tip the cap. I mean, that was a hell of a pass. Crossed the crease, right onto the stick of Lardis, and Binnington just no chance of getting there. That's one of those patented backdoor tap-ins that we've seen a lot in the past against the Blues. But credit to Jordan Binnington, because even after that one going in, he rebounded after the Blackhawks had their surge late in the first.
Moore will move it to Kaiser. Skates around Berggren from the red line, dumps it in on net. Binnington puts it down. Burakovsky shot on. Second save of the game by Binnington. Now to Vlasic looking into traffic. Dangles down low. Circles the goal with it. Goes to the line. There's a bomb on and a save by Binnington.
So I said the Blues with 15 scoring chances in all situations after the first. The Blackhawks had 4, but they did have 3 total high-danger scoring chances, all of those on special teams. And that's where we stand through 20 minutes of hockey. 1-1 our score, Blues and Blackhawks. It is the On the Run intermission report. Alex Ferrario with you. When we return, we'll hear a little from Glenn Hall, conversation I had with him back in 2016. We'll bring you a chunk of that interview that we had for you in our pregame show. That's next. 1-1 Blues and Hawks. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Barnes Jewish Hospital and WashU Medicine physicians have long been leaders in heart and vascular care. Now, we're taking the patient experience to another level by opening our new state-of-the-art patient tower, designed specifically with heart patients in mind. By combining the latest technology with thoughtful design and private rooms, heart patients can experience faster healing, reduced stress, and improved outcomes. Learn more at barnesjewish.org/heart.
Hi, folks. This is Chris Kerber. And the experts at Fast Signs can handle any and all of your business visibility needs, from traditional signs and graphics to digital, decor graphics, and everything in between. Fast Signs in Earth City has you covered. I've used them, the Blues use them, and you will love the work they do. Call 314-344-4400 for your custom signage needs today. Fast Signs in Earth City, a proud partner of the St. Louis Blues.
You can swirl it, you can sip it, but the best way is to share it. Hey y'all, I'm Deanna, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new frosted sodas and floats is how well they go together. You get that bold flavor of the Coke mixed with the smooth deliciousness of the vanilla ice cream. You have a juicy filet and a smooth, creamy float. It's an awesome pairing.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
Hey Blues fans, now's your chance to win an autographed Jimmy Snuggerud jersey, courtesy of your Quality Ford dealers.
In Snuggerud shoots.
Sniped by Snuggerud! Just head to FordJerseyGiveaway.live to enter. Don't miss out on this opportunity to win a signed Jimmy Snuggerud jersey. Entries close on January 16th.
Intermission report. Alex Ferrario with you. 1-1 Blues and Blackhawks as we now hear a little chunk from Glenn Hall. Some audio I found back in 2016 when they had the chance to talk to Mr. Goalie back at the 50th anniversary of the St. Louis Blues franchise. Of course, Glenn Hall passing away earlier this evening. Take a listen to our conversation back from 2016.
Well, only in Chicago. It was the farm team and Chicago Blackhawks and in the American League. So, yeah, I knew a little bit, and I had played in the American League, so I had played in St. Louis.
So give me your first reaction when you find out that you're being selected in the expansion draft by the Blues.
Well, I didn't know much about expansion at all. In fact, I had retired the year before, and they talked me back to come back in. All of a sudden, they found some money to pay me, and so I did the year in Chicago, and I really didn't expect to go anywhere. I thought I had retired.
How tough of convincing was that to try and get you back into the game after you retired?
Well, they had to leave one goalkeeper with NHL experience, and so I think that's why the year before they signed me when I was figuring on retiring. I didn't like the way I was playing. I wasn't playing as well as I wanted to play, and that's a difficult situation when you're not playing great.
So you were selected in '67. Do you remember the first person that you had to talk to in St. Louis that just kind of welcomed you to the city and to the team?
I don't know. I think it would be Lynn Patrick. It probably was Lynn. It could have been Sid the Third. But I did get a phone call, and I went down to St. Louis in the summertime because I had signed. But they come out here and talk to me, too, which was absolutely great.
So you mentioned the Solomons, and everybody I've had the chance to talk to, a part of that 1967 roster, talks about how much fun it was to be a part of a team with the Solomons. I'm sure you have so many fond memories of those owners and the way that they treated you guys as players.
Well, we were unbelievable the way we were treated, and it really was. It was something different than what the original 6 owners did. They figured, well, don't pamper the players and don't do this, but we were treated so good by them, and the only way we could repay the treatment we got was with effort. And the hockey team, it was always 100% effort.
There you go. That's Glenn Hall, and had the chance to talk with him back in 2016, and what a pleasure it was. And, of course, our thoughts and prayers to the entire Hall family after Glenn Hall passed away earlier this evening at the age of 94. We'll take a break, come back, some score updates around the NHL, and we'll start the second. 1-1 Blues and Hawks. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Stephen A. Smith is talking about the NBA on Mad Dog Sports Radio.
Because who knows basketball better than me? Hear about all the high-flying action daily. Get the answers to the most burning questions like which team, if any, will challenge the Thunder in the West? Which franchises face the most pressure to win this season? And will my New York Knicks win it all? Give me a call and we'll talk about it. Listen to the Stephen A. Smith Show, weekdays from 1 to 3 Eastern on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, and the SiriusXM app.
The Power Play with Steve Coolius.
If you're 500 right now, you must play over 600 hockey. How many of these 600 teams are sustainable? At the very end of the day, playing musical chairs, there's only going to be a few spots and way too many butts. And the teams that lose will make but. And I think for some teams, the math is already not on their side.
The Power Play with Steve Coolius. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on SiriusXM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Just the nature of the NHL. As bad as things seem, as good as things seem, the NHL just has a way of leveling out. Everyone is doing okay. And it's just one real clump in the middle. No one's really separating. No one's really falling off completely.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Today.
Everything is better on ice. SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
Your enterprise drive around the league, proud hometown partner of your St. Louis Blues. The games that have wrapped up, the Canadiens beat the Flames 4-1. Texier having a goal and assist in that one. Stars beat the Capitals 4-1. Currently, Mammoth lead the Senators 2-1. Let's go back to Curbs and Joey to start the second period of Blues and Blackhawks.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. Hey, you can most convenient ways to enjoy great clips. Prop partners of the St. Louis Great clips. It's going to be great. So welcome you back into the Circa Sports broadcast booth. Sports betting the way it should be. And Joe, that all-important and critical second period in a 1-1 game.
Well, yeah, and the Blues have struggled in this period all season long, and you're hoping that this turn of the calendar in 2026, it's going to bring them good fortune. But if there is one period that has turned the tide for this group, it has been this one, the speed and transition, getting caught out there in long changes, the D not being able to get off on sloppy dumps, all fundamental hockey that Jim Montgomery's hoping to right this ship here. As like I said, the mention of the turn of the calendar, and this is a new blue team. Big hit right there by Torchenko, too.
He gets grabbed there by Walt Kaiser after the hit. On the dump in, it goes to Torchenko. Levshunov on him, and Alexei wins it. Hawks will clear it out of the zone. It's going to angle all the way in on Binnington. And Jordan will slide it over to Parayko. Launching that out off Buchnevich into the Hawk zone. Coming around to the near wing. Outlet pass. Finds Lardis. Tucker took it back for the Blues. Snaps that over to Snuggerud. Got a piece and no icing. Knight will play it to Kaiser. Back to Levshunov with Snuggerud coming in. He kind of flies into things with a little bit of that youthful reckless abandon,
doesn't he? Love it.
4-on-2. Hawks to the Blues zone. Kaiser with a shot. Let it go high. Bouncing puck to Snuggerud. Buchnevich fires that one wide of the goal. Puck back around the wall. Falk to Tucker. His shot deflects far wing. Snuggerud after it again. And from Falk down to Braden Shen into the corner. Burakovsky got to it. Nice play. Buchnevich took it back into the circle. Falk down low. Just out of the reach of Buchnevich as that puck comes to the near wing, and Green gets control for the Hawks. Goes to Levshunov, and Jordan Kyrou trying to chase him down. It's cleared out. Minute and a half gone. Second period. Good check by Neighbors. Cleared ahead. Dropped off. Thomas to Fowler. loose. Kyrou right on, and Spencer Knight. Anticipation save as it's coming the other way. Green to the Blues zone. Thomas intercepting on a rink-wide pass. Kyrou dropped it off, and it's Neighbors entering the Hawk zone. Circles the goal with it. Passes over to the far point to Logan Mailloux. Danced at the line, kept it in, shoots it to the goal. Gloved by Knight, who's made some big saves to keep this game 1-1.
Well, I tell you, some line shuffling for Jim Montgomery right off the hop of this period. Kyrou, he's going to find himself now out there on a little switch up there. They used Buchnevich with Thomas to start the first period a little bit, and now they're going to use Kyrou up there with Jake Neighbors. That last chance as Fowler joins the rush, sets up Kyrou there in the back door, and Spencer Knight once again makes a nice side-to-side save. He has been sharp again ever since he allowed that first goal to go in.
Mailloux took a shot that went off the stick of Donato and out of play. Man, look around this arena. You mentioned this in the opening, Joe. It's great to see a big crowd back here in the United Center. That's number one. A lot of empty suites, but those will start to fill in as this team continues to get back to relevance. And it kind of looks like the Blues and Hawks could be coming to relevance at the same time. Yeah. Man, have we not seen that in ages. That'll get a rivalry going again.
Well, it absolutely will, Curbs. And, both these squads battling hard there for that wild card spot. And I think the people around the league thought St. Louis would be here. I think Chicago's been one of those really surprising teams this year. But Jeff Blashill, great development coach, has certainly got them humming in the right direction right now.
Sorry about that. Dickinson's thrown the 3 biggest hits of this game. It comes in front, and Binnington. Big save on Dickinson. On a middle ice play, and a puck cleared by the Blues. It's going to roll over the line. Icing against St. Louis.
Wow, just a cluster behind the net. In the Blackhawks offensive zone, this is right behind Binnington. You guys got Dvorsky and Donato. They're all battling right there. Donato's going to sneak this puck right to the middle. It's going to go through all the sticks in front. Dickinson, point blank. I mean, he's 3 feet outside the blue paint, and no one is around him. He cannot elevate this puck as Binnington is down low and makes that pad save. Great one there for Jordan.
Draw pulled back down and in. Dvorsky won the initial draw. Foligno stayed with it, grabbed it back for the Hawks. Now to Wyatt Kaiser. Skates into the corner. Comes off the wall with it in a deflected play. It ends up over the glass and out of play. And the faceoff is going to stay in that zone. How do you grab the momentum of a period and shift that ice down when the Blues have had as many second period issues?
Well, I tell you one thing, you hope for an early goal. That could certainly spark you, because playing with the lead is very different than playing from behind or even a tie, especially when you have some bad memories of a second period. You hope to kind of get that lead, much like they did in that Vegas game, Curves. Remember, it was the third period where the Golden Knights came back, but they had a really nice second period. That was the one where we had Doug Armstrong up in the booth where they scored the 2 goals. Periods like that, you need more and more like that to get that good feeling going in the second.
Now, they also scored a second period goal in the last game against Montreal to extend it from 1-0 to 2-0. Blues into the Hawk zone now, and it's down low. Nathan Walker jammed it away, wraps it on. Jacob poked at it. Locked away by the Hawks defense. Parayko to the front of the net, missed a stick. Broberg fires it, goes wide. And over to Levshunov and Parayko. That's 2 big number 55s. That is a lot of 55s when you look at the frame of those 2 bodies. And into the corner it goes, in behind the net, comes back behind the goal. Kaiser to pick it up. Left-handed shooting D-man. Passing to Nick Foligno. The veteran presence that's keeping everything together for the Chicago Blackhawks, bringing the young guys along. And it's out to Snuggerud. Blues to center. Into the Hawk zone. Buchnevich to the front of the net. Knight with a save off the right pad. And behind the net, recovered. Buchnevich to the line. Falk has to keep it along the outside. Chen, he's there with Murphy. Rolled along the wing. Chen stays with it. Connor Murphy there to clear it out. And then the puck kept loose in the neutral zone as Falk denied the St. Louis line.
Yeah, really nice stand up there by Justin, where he's not giving Chicago an inch.
Hit around and out. 15 and a half to go. Second period of a 1-1 game. Snuggerud brings it in on Crevier. A long reach. How tall is Crevier? Well, Parayko has to look up to go eye-to-eye contact with him. Neighbors, look out in the neutral zone. Caught the puck to head down a little bit. Looked up in time to see Donato, and the Hawks will clear. Broberg kept it out, but now it's dumped in, and Binnington behind the net. Quick play to Perico. Now Thomas. Philip Broberg dumps it in. The puck goes over to the far wing as the Hawks turn it over to Thomas. Pass in the middle. The Neighbors off the mark, and it's cleared by Chicago.
Man, just Spencer Knight at one end, Jordan Binnington, they're putting on a clinic as far as coming out and playing pucks.
Thomas has the puck going in. Hits the trailer, and then it's bounced past the stick of Kyrou.
Yeah, Jordan's had a couple nice looks here. He misses fans right there at a backdoor wall.
Here he is now. Brings it in. Tucks it to the goal. Save Knight. Huge save off the right leg, preventing a slight breakaway from Kyrou.
Wow, oh wow, Spencer Knight. He is continuing to make some spectacular saves in this game. Kyrou gets a burst of speed. He's going to blow past Vlasic. He's going to go to the forehand. He's going to sneak it back to the backhand as Spencer Knight is going to his left. And then you're going to see the right toe stick out. The puck's going to get caught right underneath the skate of Spencer Knight. And I don't know how this stays out. What a terrific save that was.
It actually got lodged between the skate laces and his pad.
Goofy save. Wow. Keep an eye on that one.
Burakovsky lost it at center. Good check there by Stenberg. The puck dumped in. Fowler. Hard rim. And off the far wing, getting all the way over was Berglund, but the Hawks keep it alive. Bertuzzi with a shot, and Binnington the save. Burakovsky to the middle. Murphy straight away for the Hawks. To Dickinson right on. Big save, Binnington. Kicked the rebound away with the left leg. Penalty taken by Mayu. And the puck cleared by the Blues, or rather Hawks back to their own end. So a delayed penalty. Hawks will end up going to their second power play of the game if they don't score here. Blues are 0 for 3 on the power play. Hawks are 1 for 1. Chicago into the Blues zone. Schenn touches the puck. And the Hawks to the power play when we come back. We're tied 1-1. Mayu to the box. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
88,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
This is John Bomarito. For the best pre-owned vehicles, get the Bomarito Advantage. Search vehicles for any budget. Get the best selection, the best financing, best warranties, and more for your trade. The Bomarito Advantage from Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at bomarito.com.
When you're clocking out and happy hour's already started, but you're clocking out and happy hour's already started. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
With the NHL app, you can listen to every NHL game right from your phone. And with home and away broadcast feeds, you choose your way to listen. Whether you're at work, at the gym, or stuck in traffic, the NHL app puts you right in the action all season long. Every team, every game, everywhere you go. Download the NHL app and never miss a moment.
The Circus Sports broadcast booth at the United Center. 1-1 your score with 13:22 to go in the second. If you're just joining us, the Chicago Blackhawks heading to a power play. That last little sequence in front, it was Bertuzzi and Mayu, and it was actually the stick of Burakovsky, his line mate, that hits Bertuzzi. Curbs, they did not say they wanted to look at this. They're going to put Logan Mayu away when, in fact, it's actually Burakovsky's stick that hits Bertuzzi. This is simply a clear miss.
It's just mind-boggling to me with that play in hockey that we cannot use instant replay to review that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even close. The play wasn't even close. The referee did not see the stick of Mailloux hit him. It's an absolute junk call. He called it because Bertuzzi threw his head back, which you would. He took a stick to the face, and it happened because of Burakovsky.
Well, and
it's just actually malpractice that in this day and age that's a penalty right now. So the Hawks go to the power play in a one-goal game. Why the general managers don't get on that one blows my mind. Up to the blue line, near wing. Lardis with a shot blocker, save Bennington. It goes out of play. And it's up to them to do it. Like, you see it happen enough where you've made it reviewable if there's a double minor, Joe.
Yeah.
Why can't you review it if it's a minor?
Well,
enough's enough.
Well, why don't they make that a double minor then if they're not sure? Because they can always do that.
Because we know Braden Shen came over and basically said, look, it didn't hit him. And then,
and they can always go to review it as well. And we've seen that a couple times this year. They did not decide to do that, though.
There's not one fan that comes to the game to watch human error in that situation. The puck goes down and in. So save me that argument. You see it enough. And the other thing with high sticking, you see enough guys faking a high stick that when the stick doesn't hit them, that every one of them should be reviewed. Because in that sense, it's hard as heck for the refs to call it. All right, I feel better now. Over on the far wing, Hawks bring it in on the power play. Lardis to the goal line off the end boards. Foligno knew that thing was coming back at him, and it comes back to Lardis straight away. Grzelcyk into the far wing. More to Grzelcyk. Shot on. Off Bennington. Rebound to the line. Not out. Second period kill for the Blues. Hawks with a shot. They score. That's a joke. The next penalty is going to be that gives the Blues a power play.
This is why it's a game, right? This is why it's a game, and this is why human error is a part of this game. As you're going to see Jim Montgomery, he's going to give one more close look. I wasn't sure if there may be goaltender interference as Moore shoots this puck. Yeah, nothing really around. I think Bennington just misses this one as it goes right over the glove. But to really wrap up what just happened, you know, it was a high stick by the Blackhawks. Burakovsky and his own player in Bertuzzi. Mailloux was right there but didn't come close to it. They put Mailloux away. Braden Shen argues it, saying it wasn't their stick. He's absolutely correct. It was not Mailloux's stick. And then, of course, the Blackhawks take advantage for their second power play goal of this game. Moore had the assist on the first. He gets the second of the game and the fourth of his season. And just like that, Curbs, you go from being up 1-0, now you're trailing 2-1.
Yeah, and the penalty killing, which really had been pretty solid, getting back on track for the Blues, has given up 2 power play goals here tonight, and this Hawks power play has really been terrific over their last 5 games. Colton Dock falls down. The puck cleared by the Blues. 2-1 Chicago. They've got the lead now in the second. Berggren's going to send it down in, and around the net it comes. Tucker down the near wall. Goes back to Dvorsky. Nice play taken away. Stenberg scores! And he ties the game 2-2. A snipe for Otto Stenberg. 11:38 to go, second period.
Well, what a beautiful goal for Stenberg. Big smile, 2 hands up in the air. This is what it's all about. A turnover by the Blackhawks. They try to go through the middle. It ends up not connecting. And then Otto Stenberg, he's coming down to the right side of Knight. A terrible angle. Knight's going to grab that right post. Curbs, there is hardly any daylight right here, as Stenberg is going to put this right by the right ear, just off the face of Spencer Knight to tie this game. Boy, that was a much-needed answer right there.
That'll be an unassisted goal for Stenberg. Ties the game 2-2. 2 goals, 41 seconds apart after the Hawks power play goal. The Blues tie it up. They shoot it in front. Bennington scrambles back, gets a glove on it. And he holds on with 11:13 to go in the second.
Well, if you believe in hockey gods, like I do at times, you know what? You have a bad call, ends up in the back of your net, in the very next shift, 5-on-5, curves you. his first career NHL goal. I mean, that's what it's all about right there. You see him on the bench right now, just a big smile on his face. You know, a player that's earned the trust more and more with Jim Montgomery. On the defensive side, we see him closing out games. We see him playing alongside Robert Thomas at big moments, killing penalties. And now he has got his first in the National Hockey League. This is a moment he will certainly never forget. It's been a great week for the Stenberg family, hasn't it?
It has. Brother winning gold with Team Sweden at the World Juniors. And when you talk to Otto, too, as a puck comes to Murphy, they shoot it. It hit the pad.
Tell you what, face-off win here for Chicago. In the offense zone, they go to work. It's really a seam pass as the Blues can't get the puck out, and this puck's going to float right through the middle. It's actually Sundqvist turns it over. He's trying to go Torovchenko in the middle. Sundqvist to Torovchenko. That pass does not connect, and it slides just underneath the glove of Binnington. You said it, Kurt. Yeah. This is one he would love to have back. No real screen. You can see based off the body language, he just misses this. As it's just over the pad, just low glove. Sometimes those shots in between can really trip up a goaltender. But a turnover for Chicago leads to the Stenberg goal. A turnover for the Blues with full possession leads to the third Blackhawk goal now.
So the Blackhawks back on top. 3 goals combined in the span of 1 minute and 16 seconds. And the Blues get it over the line. Too far for Schenn. The puck coming off the wall. It goes to the far side. Bertuzzi. Snuggerud on him. Bertuzzi lost the glove. It's coming back to the near wing. And man, is it something? It's great to hear this building lively again, isn't it?
It sure is.
Snuggerud fires it wide of the goal from a tough angle. It ends up out at center. Tyler Tucker, he got the goal scoring started 27 seconds into the hockey game. Gets back and then takes it up ice. Goes up Berggren into the Hawk zone. Racing to it. Levshunov couldn't clear. Stenberg 6 points in 10 NHL games now. The puck moves up ice. Berggren's going to deflect it in again, but they're offside this time. 9:46 to go. Halfway through the hockey game. That brings us time to hockey halftime with the Hawks leading 3-2, Joe.
Yeah, you know, I was talking to a couple players here earlier this morning about this season, and a lot's been said about the schedule, and of course the schedule next year going to 84 games, but this year in particular a different schedule because of the Olympic break. And you know, the Olympic break, certainly some positives, some great things, and time for players to represent their country. We talked to Philip Broberg this morning, and you know, Curbs, he talked about that moment when the general manager and coach reached out to him, and then he heard from Alexander Steen moments later. I told him what Alex told me about not only his skating ability, but his endurance, his ability to play those minute 30, minute 40, minute 50 length shifts. And Jim Montgomery has talked about him all season long. His ability to come back, catch a breath, swig some water, 20, 30 seconds later, and he's just ready to go again. I asked Philip, what about growing up playing? What about different sports? What about his training led him to that endurance? And he said in Sweden, growing up, he actually had a cross-country skiing coach. And conditioning is super important for Swedish hockey training. In the summers, it's a lot of running. It's a lot of marathon-style running. And then, of course, this cross-country skiing. Coaches working with them with their long strides and just preparing them day in and day out for those practice habits of enduring those long breath, long escapades of just go, 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 go with quick recovery. So you can see the way he grew up and the way the Swedish hockey country is grooming these young men, not only from the skill standpoint, but this cross-country skiing and the coaching through that is certainly becoming a pretty relevant thing here in Sweden, and it'll be interesting to see as these other countries start to pick up on this, how this trend continues there. But that was certainly one of the main reasons why Philip Broberg makes Team Sweden, and he's just one more now, of course, alongside Pius Suter, who got announced today. We're still waiting on Dalibor Dvorsky. To me, he's probably going to round it out there with only 5 countrymen in the league from his country.
Yeah. Alex Dean talks about watching the Sedin twins train. Kind of reinforces some of the conditioning that you're talking about there. Said I was doing the same rides as they were, but their numbers were different.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Hawks with a 3-2 lead halfway through the second period. Blues try to make sure it doesn't grow and see if they can tie it up again. Coming around to the near wing. Dvorsky rims it over to the far side to Stenberg. Just scored his first in the NHL, and it was a beauty. That puck gets deflected down into the Blues zone. Off-cam Fowler, but a good stick by Moore. Feeds to the middle to Teravainen. Oh, off the post. Inches away from a 4-2 lead, and it's back to Dvorsky at center. He'll dump it in.
You can see Chicago, they're going for that glove side on Binnington. That's where Murphy just scored, and they almost just make it 4.
Pass going rink wide, but the Blues couldn't make the line change in time as that's where the puck went. And it's sent down into the corner. Hawks on top 3-2. Here's Broberg. Off the wall. Donato took it right away from Kyrou. Jordan gets back on it. Nice chip off the boards to Neighbors out to center. He'll dump it in. Jake's got 10 goals on the year. It goes down into the Hawk zone, played around the boards and cleared out by Vlasic. Sent into the Blues end, and that'll be icing. Mikheyev was going to argue it. Joe, I want to go back real quick to that high stick missed call. It's such a tough play when there's so much traffic around that we saw the 4 officials get to it. None of them saw the way it was done, but they knew that there was a chance it wasn't. At some point, I think you got to give and leave it up to the referees to say, can we take a look at this? Because it,
yeah,
you know,
something's got to be done. I know that, you know, even an earpiece. I don't know why it's taken so long, if ever, that they're not going to get an earpiece where someone can communicate who's got the replay right in front of them.
Hawks scored on that power play to make it 2-1. Stenberg tied it up to make it 2-2. The Hawks quickly answered, made it 3-2. Here's Kyrou with a shot on, and Knight makes the save. Holds on with 7:56 to go in the second period of play. It's going to be a mental hurdle to battle your way through this second period scenario the Blues have been in.
Well, you know, it is, and this is where you lean on your top guys. You know, especially because you get a bit of a shaft of a call. And, you know, these are the moments where you look up and down your bench if you're Jim Montgomery and you say, are we going to sit around and respond, or are we going to sit around and lick our wounds? And who wants to come out there and have a response and stop feeling sorry for yourself? Let's go play some hockey.
Hawks win the draw. Grzelcyk to the near side. Slaggert will get a hold of it. They go back to Grzelcyk to the far wing for Doc, and he'll dump it around to the near wing. Off Slaggert to Foligno. Put it back to the far wing. Grzelcyk pinching in. Coming around to Foligno at the hash marks to the blue line. Murphy straight away to Doc. Shoots, scores!
You know, it's another shot from the point, Curbs. We just saw Connor Murphy from the point glove side. This one, Doc. Yeah, this is going to be a screen. It's going to be, I believe, a redirection off of Braden Shen.
Yeah.
Or maybe even in front there. Yeah, actually, I think it was a Chicago Blackhawk member. Maybe Slaggert. I don't know. You know, Doc celebrating. It got redirected by something. It looked like it was going towards his body. Then ended up going blocker side. So someone got a piece of it there in front, whether it was Braden or the Blackhawks forward. That one definitely took a redirection, but you got to give Chicago credit. Another shot from the point goes in.
It took the momentum from the power play that wasn't. Yeah, look at this. Here's a holding call on Murphy. Puck comes over to Fowler. Now along the near side, and Walker's going to hold it in. The Hawks then touch it up, and the Blues are going to go to their 4th power play. Well, now you need that 0-for-3 power play to get you back in the game.
Oh, you absolutely do, and you got to give Oscar Sundqvist credit for drawing that right there.
Chicago number 5, minor penalty for holding.
You know, but you knew that this one was going to come anything even close.
Yep.
You know, Francis Chiron was going to make this right. You know, I'm sure they have communication there at those TV timeouts about what that call was and how it was missed and how it has really burned the Blues. But Sundqvist behind there and a little shove there. And, yeah, it was actually, to me, Sundqvist actually locks in on the arm of Connor Murphy. So you see Murphy right there arguing it. But that's hockey, and that's certainly an even up one now. Can the Blues take advantage of that even up one? That's got to be the big question now, starting with that Thomas grouping.
4-2 Chicago, who are now out shooting the Blues 22-19. Thomas brings it in, centers, goes over to Snuggerud along the far wing. Up to the blue line for Fowler. Quick pressure by the Hawks, and Revier's going to get it up the far wing. Rather, Dickinson creates a 2-on-1. Broken up there on a nice play by Buchnevich. Dickinson behind the net. Buchnevich chopping for it, and Thomas will knock it loose to Fowler. 1:15 to go in the power play for the Blues. Ameren power play number 4 of the game. Dvorsky to Snuggerud. He lost it in the corner. Teravainen then lost it to Thomas. Falk's going to get to it. Man, this is an aggressive kill. They go down along the wing through Snuggerud. There it goes.
Yeah, they don't allow any real time and space, and you got to give the Blackhawks credit. You know, with the Blues power play, as it's really struggled. You know, it's a fragile group, and there's a lot of indecisiveness. Whenever you're killing off against a group like that, you just jump them early.
Shen in, Kyrou. Round to the near wing. Neighbors has got to fly down the wing. Mikheyev plays it off the wall. Shen trying to battle it back. Kyrou, Shen, and Neighbors trying to dig it away on the power play. And they do. Neighbors going to the far wing. It's blocked. Shot right on. Rebound to the near side. Shen couldn't get a piece of the rebound. And the Hawks will clear it out. Take the final 10 seconds off the clock. And Lev Shunov is going to dump it in.
Yeah, I tell you, that shot from Bergeron there, it went across the body of Knight, sitting right there, but the Blues didn't have numbers in front.
Neighbors now to Shen. And then the puck hits that shelf where the glass and the boards meet. Bounced over the wall and glass and out of play. 5:05 to go. We're in the second, and the Hawks jumped up to a 4-2 lead. We're back at even strength. Blues 0-for-4 on the power play, and this is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Every year, it's the same thing. Too many sweets, drinks, and treats. Not enough exercise or sleep, and we feel like we're too far gone to fix it. Hit reset on your health with Dr. Radio on Sirius XM. Take control of unhealthy habits, find out about new tests and trials, or simply find a new exercise and nutrition routine.
Keep perspective, stay grounded.
Setting up the framework is what's important.
Hit reset on your health in 2026 with Dr. Radio, Sirius XM 110, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
If you're 500 right now, you must play over 600 hockey. How many of these 600 teams are sustainable? At the very end of the day, playing musical chairs, there's only going to be a few spots and way too many buts. And the teams that lose will make but. And I think for some teams, the math is already not on their side.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Broadcast booth. We're here in Chicago. We started this period with both teams locked up at 1. There has been a ton of scoring. We still have 5:05 to go here in this second period. The Blackhawks now leading your St. Louis Blues 4-2. off of a penalty earlier we saw in this period. To get you all caught up, a penalty that really shouldn't have happened. The Blackhawks take advantage. They score their second power play goal, and then a couple shots from the point, one directed, one clean, beating Bennington on that glove side is where we stand right now, Chris Kerber.
Yeah, they did give that last goal, as you mentioned, to Slaggert. That's the deflected goal in the net front battle with Shen. That came off the Colton Dock shot. The puck coming around to the near wing, cleared out by Otto Stenberg.
Yeah, a little bump right there. You saw as Andre Burakovsky knocks into Bennington as he was out of the net.
Well, sometimes you just got to outscore the other team. Go get it. Burakovsky, far wing. Bertuzzi trying to come back into the front. Up to the line for Murphy. Now to Burakovsky into traffic. Shot knocked down off the glove of Bennington. And then Perico with Stenberg there to knock it to the corner. Berggren will get it out of the zone.
Yeah, once again, right at the net front, you're going to see Tyler Bertuzzi all over Bennington. He's had a couple really nice looks on top of that blue paint tonight.
Grizzlick had 8 assists coming in. He's got 2 in this game. He's got 10. Murphy with a 2-point game, including his first goal of the year. Bennington stops it behind the net. Saucers it out to Shen. Nice pass from the red line. They drive it down around the boards. Kick that behind the net to Lev Shunov. Check loose by Butch Navich. Into the slot for Snuggerud. Couldn't get the puck from the stick to the skates to shoot it, and it's going the other way. Lev Shunov drives the middle of the ice. Pushes it wide of the goal.
Boy, how about that speed there by that big defender?
Lardis out of the corner for Chicago. Lev Shunov skates the line, puts it into the middle, onto the forehand. And then a shot coming from Lardis goes wide.
Yeah, they have themselves a player here. He's going to be a player for a very long time. He is young, he is big, and he is shifty.
I remember him watching in St. Louis playing for Michigan State as the Blues dump it into the Hawk zone. Came in when they had the Frozen Four regionals. And he looked like a minimum boys in that tournament. Up ice it goes. Hawks to the Blues zone. Dickinson checked off by Falk. Tucker couldn't clear it. Puck comes back to Dickinson, who had lost an edge behind the net. He's back up, and now he and Tucker hold it with the skate along the wall. 2:48 to go. We're in the second period. Chicago has put 3 on the Blues in this period. Blues have scored. Stenberg's first of these. Season end in the NHL. Comes to the line. Crevier shoots and scores. A screen that goes in.
Outside of the power play goal earlier in this period, the last 3 have been shots from the point and redirections. Crevier is going to get this puck. A battle won by Chicago in the near side corner in the offensive zone. Comes back to the point, a shot through the middle. Dickinson right in front. Bennington cannot see this puck, and it gets redirected as 3 Chicago Blackhawks bodies get to the front. Mentioned Curve that you may just have to outscore your opponent here tonight. The problem for St. Louis now, that means they're going to have to score 6. They only got 2.
2:18 to go here in the second. Well, if it stays this way, Jim Montgomery could just go to the old same comments of late in those losses about winning the net front.
Well, net front, second period woes continue. Yeah, similar themes, no doubt about that.
Shot over to the far wing, played by the Hawks. Foligno sets it up.
And, you know, you got to give Chicago a lot of credit. I mean, this is a very different-looking Blackhawks team. We have seen them all season long. And, you know, this is no question that Jeff Blashill has got a good system here. We talked to Darren Payne this morning, who watches this team religiously, of course. He said they have a great presence in the offensive zone where they drive the net. They're not afraid to take it to the goal line. When it gets covered, they go low to high. Defensemen, they're getting a ton of opportunities, and that's really been the difference of this period.
That and the Hawks 2 for 2 on the power play, and the Blues 0 for 4.
Yeah.
Fowler to the middle of the ice. And it gets bounced free, cleared right back out, and Falk's going to go to get it. 5-2 Chicago, 64 seconds to go in the second. Puck coming off Berggren. And the Blues will get it out. Comes to Berggren on the near wing, skates down into the Hawk zone. Blues on the brakes, backhands it to the far corner. Buchnevich trying to get there, but Burakovsky had a step on him and spins and makes the play as it goes off the far wing and cleared to the near side. 35 seconds remaining here in the second. Hawks dump it in. Parayko spins off the wall. Snuggerud will clear it. Dumped down into the corner. Schenn gets to it, negating icing. Centering pass. Buchnevich fired on Snuggerud, and Knight will make the save.
Yeah, that was a great play by Braden Schenn to beat out the icing. He got speed as the Blues went north. And then you're going to see Buchnevich and Braden Schenn, a quick little 10-foot pass that opens up an opportunity as they go behind the net to find Snuggerud. And I'll tell you one positive through 2 periods this game is Jimmy Snuggerud. He came to the building tonight to do one thing, and that is shoot the puck, and he has done that.
If this stat is updated with that last shot, that is 8 shot attempts in the game for Snuggerud as the second period comes to a close.
Well, you knew it, and you know what? He started the year. He's dealing with some bumps and bruises. It's his first full NHL season. It's going to take time, especially coming from college. It's a different beast. You go from playing 33, 34 games to now you're facing 82 with the potential playoffs. You know, all that being said, it's going to take a lot of time, and you know, you got to be patient with him. You know, he started the year a little bit slower, and then he dealt with that injury. He's missed a little bit of time. Since coming back, they needed him to be a shooter. They needed him and Jordan Kyrou, those guys with a shooter mindset, to be there. You can tell there's been some sort of conversation over the last couple days with one of the coaches at Jimmy Snuggerud, because this is the Snuggerud they need. They need a kid with the authority, the confidence, the healthy selfishness to get as much rubber at the net as possible, and he's certainly doing that here this evening.
Does make you wonder how long that wrist injury was bothering him before the decision to have the surgery.
You really do. I mean, I know he got banged up pretty good in the preseason. He told me that it wasn't that. It was actually something a little bit later. But this has been ongoing for a while, where he's already dealing with the bumps and bruises. You're already dealing. Once you come from college, even if you're healthy, you're going to have some peaks and valleys. But then on top of that, he had that injury that was really prohibiting him from shooting the puck. And it is his top hand. He's a right-handed shot. It's on his left wrist. So the left hand really controls the majority, 80-85% of all the puck controls from that top hand. So it did have an impact. You wonder how long it did, but he's certainly looking healthy right now, and he's shooting the puck with a lot of zip to it.
All right, Alex, tough call. The Blues couldn't kill the penalty, even though it shouldn't have been one. But really in that period, they needed the save on that Connor Murphy slap shot. And instead, the Hawks got the goal, and then they really took over the rest of the period after that.
Yeah, that Connor Murphy one was just a dagger to make it 3-2, and then, like you guys said, just not able to clear out the front of the net with some nice deflections from Slaggert and Dickinson. But a couple of goals that I'm sure Jordan Middington is going to want back, and that period got away from the Blues pretty quickly. We got lots to break down. We'll do so in our second intermission report, and we're going to hear a little from the most recent episode of the Last Minute Blues podcast, as we discussed earlier today, the Toropchenko injury and the pushback from some Blues fans that I was a little surprised by. So we'll do that. Also some score updates around the NHL. Alex Ferrario with you. Pro-level nutrition delivered to your door, ready when you are. Factor, eat like a pro. 5-2, Blues trail the Blackhawks. Alex Ferrario with you. This is St. Louis Blues hockey. This is Alex Ferrario, proud alumni of Lindenwood University. I tell people I would not be where I am at in my career without my education and experience built from my time at Lindenwood. Now a proud member of the NCAA Division I. They've got over 100 degree programs, 49 competitive sports teams, 50 student club organizations. What more can you ask for to discover your passion at LU? Schedule a visit or apply today at lindenwood.edu. Lindenwood University, real experience, real success.
Ouch! Man, that check's gotta hurt.
The gloves are coming off. Ooh, that's $100 right there. Eesh, that's $1,000. Hey, what's with the dollar amounts? That's how much each injury could be worth if he calls Morgan & Morgan. Yikes, that one's got to be at least $10K.
When you hire Morgan & Morgan, their gloves come off and they fight for you.
Proud partner of the St. Louis Blues. Injured? Dial # law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking. And you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving coming full circle at the parking spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Blues. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today. That's theparkingspot.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Second intermission report. Alex Ferrario with you. 5-2 Blues trail the Blackhawks after the second period. As that period got ugly, kind of par for the course for the Blues. The second period has been their biggest issue all season long. Came into this game a -20 goal differential, now a -23 goal differential. To put it into comparison, the Blackhawks a -9 in that second period. Started off with the Blues early on with a couple of nice saves from Jordan Binnington. Chicago out shooting the Blues 16-8, but then they would take a penalty. Logan Mailloux with a rogue high sticking call that Curbs was very upset about, and I understand why. A high sticking call that wasn't even Logan Mailloux's stick, but they didn't review it. They called it on the Blues. It sent Chicago to the second power play of the hockey game.
Into the far wing, more to Grizzly, shot on. Off Binnington, rebound to the line, not out. Second period kill for the Blues. Hawks with a shot, they score. That's a joke. Power play goal for the Chicago Blackhawks on an absolute miss of a call. And it's 2-1 Chicago.
Honestly, is there anything better than a fired-up Chris Kerber? I personally don't think so. That's blooper reel material that we'll get towards the end. Not making fun of Curbs, but when he gets fired up at the officials, man, do we get content gold. And I get it. I understand the frustration. It's wild that they have the ability to call it a 4-minute double minor, or a major, I believe it is, so that they can review it. They have that rule in place, and they decide not to review it. They stick with the call on the ice, and it goes in the favor of the Blackhawks. That one wasn't the dagger, though, because the Blues showed the ability to respond, because a little over 30 seconds later,
Berggren's going to send it down in, and around the net it comes. Tucker down the near wall. Goes back to Dvorsky. Nice play taken away. Stenberg, score! Over the shoulder of Knight for his first goal in the National Hockey League. And he ties the game 2-2. A snipe for Otto Stenberg. 11:38 to go, second period.
I was so pumped for Otto Stenberg there. I mean, he has just continued to check boxes off for the Blues, as Jim Montgomery mentioned. And for him, scoring his first NHL goal to tie the game up, he's now a +5 on the season with 6 points in 9 games. Also has 3 hits in this one. So Otto Stenberg, the equalizer in the second period. He also lights the lamp for the Blues. It's brought to you by Electrical Connection and partnership of IBEW Local 111. Electricians and the National Electrical Contractors Association for Quality Electrical and Communication Contractor. But that enjoyment lasted for only 35 seconds because possibly the toughest goal to give up in that period came after Stenberg made it 2-2.
The puck comes to Murphy. They shoot and score. Hawks are going back on top. They still it. It hit the pad of Binnington. That's one he wants back. Hit the pad and trickled underneath it. Went in. 3-2 the score.
Just tough D-zone play for the Blues. Broberg pressured by Bertuzzi as he loses the board battle. Sundqvist comes in for the support, and he makes a pass right through the middle of the defensive zone onto the stick of Connor Murphy, and Connor Murphy just takes the slap shot, bounces off of Binnington's pads, trickles in. You could see the body language. Binnington was frustrated that one got past him, and the Blues did not respond well after Chicago took another lead.
Back to the far wing. Grzelcyk pinching in. Coming around to Foligno at the hash marks to the blue line. Murphy straight away to Doc. Shoots, scores! I don't know if it was deflected in, but it's lasered top shelf, and the Hawks have taken the 4-2 lead here with 7:33 to go in the second.
Yeah, it was deflected by Slaggert. He was standing in front of Jordan Binnington. Really, it was just a wall in front of Jordan Binnington. Tucker and Falk trying to kind of save face with Chicago as they kind of pass the puck around. We're moving it around pretty quickly, and then the shot in front as it's deflected by Slaggert. He was defended by Braden Shen and goes into the back of the net. That came about less than 4 minutes after Connor Murphy made it 3-2, and then about 5 minutes later,
in the second period, Chicago has put 3 on the Blues in this period. Blues have scored. Stenberg's first of these. Season end in the NHL. Comes to the line. Crevier shoots and scores. 5-2 Chicago on another long shot through a screen that goes in, and that one might have been tipped as well.
Yep, that one's tipped by Jason Dickinson. So some tip-ins beating Jordan Binnington as the Blues find themselves down 5-2, headed for the third period. That is our second period recap. Alex Ferrario with you. We'll come back and have a little chunk from the Last Minute Blues podcast recent episode as we talked about Alexei Toropchenko getting a contract extension and how some Blues fans were a little disappointed by it. We'll discuss it on the Last Minute Blues podcast next. Alex Ferrario with you. This is St. Louis Blues Hockey.
BJC Healthcare is the official healthcare partner of the St. Louis Blues, and we are proud to serve the St. Louis community. From sharing slap shots on the ice to helping you stay current on your health and wellness needs, BJC does it all. With 14 hospitals in the St. Louis area, choose a location that's easy and convenient for you. Let us be your partners in healthcare, cheering you on through your health journey.
One stop for snacks, drinks, and game day fuel. It's On the Run, where Blues fans get what they need when they need it. Score hot and ready pizza, locally made sandwiches, and all-day refills all season long. When it's game day or any day, it's on at On the Run.
When you team up with Scott Credit Union, your membership makes impact. It matters. To you, your family, and your finances. But also to the kids at the school down the street, the local animal shelter, and the park in your neighborhood. Because your membership does more than let Scott Credit Union offer great rates and services. It allows us to contribute in the community. Your community. Our community. Join something bigger. Your membership matters at scottcreditunion.scu.org.
The action on the ice is heating up, and there's no better time to get in on the action than now with Circus Sports. Circus Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Bet on anything from puck lines to goal scorers with transparent app limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Missouri or Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Second intermission report. Alex Ferrario with you. 5-2 Blues trail the Blackhawks after the second period. Earlier today, we dropped a new episode of the Last Minute Blues podcast, and in the episode, we talked about the Alexei Toropchenko contract extension and how I've seen some that are unhappy about it.
I love to see this. This guy's just a St. Louis kind of player, one of our guys. Alexei Toropchenko gets a 2-year contract extension. I love seeing that. That made me smile. I love Torpo. I love everything that he brings night after night. Guys, what is what we're watching right now from Alexei Toropchenko? Is this what he is? Is he a fourth liner, maybe potentially a third liner, or is there another rung up for Torpo?
I don't think there's another rung. I think what you're seeing is Toropchenko.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Not to interrupt you. I just mean, like if there was another level.
I think a couple of years ago, I think it was 2, maybe 3, where he scored 14 goals, and we were like, oh, whoa, where'd this come from? That was probably the peak of it. I think now you've settled back into who kind of Toropchenko is. Like, I don't see him scoring 10, 15, 20 goals every season. I think he plays a role, and he plays it probably as well as anybody on the roster. And that's why I was baffled at the amount of reaction to his contract extension, saying, I can't believe you gave this guy a contract extension. 2 years at $2.5 million. What are you doing? And it's like, but what are we complaining about? Like, it's 2.5, that's 2.5% of what the cap is going to be next year. Like, that does not do anything to your roster other than place in a spot that your head coach deems necessary for your team to be successful. Have a fourth line player that plays the role to an identity, that can play anywhere in the line and be good defensively and contribute at times offensively. I don't know what you would pay for that. And then to just say, well, we'll go to the market and find that, or give a prospect a chance for that. Man, you're not getting that type of compete from a prospect player right away.
Yeah, and are you watching are people watching the last 10 minutes of hockey games when Toropchenko will go up and play on the top line? Whenever the top line goes out, it's a Toropchenko. Remember, it used to be
Vegas and Montreal.
Sundqvist does it sometimes too, but a Toropchenko goes out there to close out the game. That's the kind of faith that Jim Montgomery has in him. And I like Toropchenko. And the question I have is, I wonder if he didn't score those 14 goals a few years ago, if people would still have these huge expectations. Like, let's say he 6, 8, 10 goals throughout his young career in the NHL. Would people think that this contract is too, outrageous? Because what he does, his role, he does it very, very, very well.
You could check out the full episode of the Last Minute Blues podcast, wherever you get your podcast from, up on our YouTube channel at 101 ESPN STL. We'll start the third next. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
The best of live sports talk are on Sirius XM. Weekday mornings, hear Dan Patrick at 9 on NBC Sports Radio, Channel 85.
Running backs are the best supporting actors. They can't win Best Actor.
At 1, it's the Stephen A. Smith Show on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Check me out for my passionate, unfiltered take on the world of sports.
And then at 3, it's the Mad Dog, Christopher Russo.
Anybody you ask knows I'm 100% right.
Hear from legends of the game, only on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
I love it. Just talk.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
If you're 500 right now, you must play over 600 hockey. How many of these 600 teams are sustainable? At the very end of the day, playing musical chairs, there's only going to be a few spots and way too many buts. And the teams that lose will make but. And I think for some teams, the math is already not on their side.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Experience the pinnacle of club soccer in the UEFA Champions League on Sirius XM FC. This is the place where legends are born.
Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Dynasties are built.
Real Madrid do what they do best.
And history is made.
It is a night to remember for Paris Saint-Germain.
Hear the top Champions League matches all season long on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
1 in the third. Sharks up 1-0 on the Kings in the second. Your Enterprise driver on the league. Let's drive back to Curbs and Joey.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. And welcome everybody back into the Circa Sports broadcast booth. They did a feature during that intermission here as Glenn Hall, of course, played with the Chicago Blackhawks and then eventually the St. Louis Blues. The question that was asked to Glenn Hall, who passed away earlier today at the age of 94, about the fear of playing without a mask, and he was walking through, and Joey wrote the quote down, and he said, well, the number one job was to stay alive. The second was to stop the puck.
Yeah, I mean, those were men. We were seeing some highlights of his saves here at the Jumbotron at the intermission, and you know, Curbs, he didn't shy away. He actually put his face first and a lot of these saves. This is the same puck they're still using, by the way. They didn't add weight. Make that very clear here.
Bertuzzi lifts the puck into the Blues zone to open up the third period. Blues down 5-2. See if they got a third period comeback in them here. They've gotten through the second, so they know where they sit. Blues now minus 23 goal differential in the second period. Burakovsky comes in over the line and dumps it over to the far side. Back-to-back games coming up on the weekend. Broberg wheels it in, tries to center, and Bertuzzi there to block it up. But there's a net front thing there, Joe. Broberg goes in behind the net, and there's no blue in front of the goal.
Yeah, the one option was really the Jake Neighbors there, but he wasn't even in the high slot. Look out.
Puck turned over. Dickinson lost it on a poke check there, but play whistle dead. They called it a late offside whistle.
Yeah, very late. Binnington comes out to make that poke check. Dickinson confused on the call right there, so he wouldn't have had the goal anyway. Yeah, the puck's going to come out. Oh, yeah. Wow, gee, what? It was actually pushed back in by Kyrou, but it went off the skate. I actually don't know that rule.
Yeah, if it touches the other guy and goes in, it's got to be a clean play.
It's got to be clean. Okay, I didn't know if it was unintentional. Okay, that's a good call there by the linesman. Because if your own team brings it back in the zone, then it nullifies the offside. But Kyrou did shoot it back, but it went off the skate of the Blackhawks defender.
Parayko trying to shoot it to the front of the net as he enters the zone. Alex Vlasic will make the save. Hawks trying to leapfrog the Blues in the standings. LA and San Jose are playing. So you don't win this game, you will fall to 5 points behind the top wild card spot.
And last I checked it, the San Jose Sharks were up on the Kings 1-0. Tyler Toffoli had the opening goal there. So Mammoth are winning 3-1. So every team basically you need to lose is winning.
Yep. Mammoth just ahead of the St. Louis Blues in the standings at 43 points. Blues are going to see the Mammoth on Friday. Puck centered. Mayu. Blues had 3 guys there, but the Hawks end up winning that puck to clear to the line. What a play. Dvorsky held it in. This is going to sound like a consolation prize to Blues fans to a degree, but man, you can see some of the hockey smarts of the young players, can't you? Hawks get it ahead. Moore brings it in on Fowler. Looks for the trailer. Teravainen trying to center, broken up by Mayu.
Oh, Teravainen, he absolutely had Lardis on the back door there.
Dvorsky shooting it. Might have sailed wide. Spencer Knight gets it.
Well, you're going to start seeing more plays like that. It's going to become a track meet. Blues one way, 2-on-1, 3-on-2's the other, because you listen, they have to cheat their defenders up now. Everyone's got to be jumping and joining the rush because they're in a pretty big hole.
Thomas, Buchnevich, and Snuggerud. Coming onto the ice here. Thomas playing .22 minutes and 33 seconds against Montreal. That's his highest ice total of the season. Man, Hawks just brought it into the Blues zone, and over on the far side, Mikheyev was coming in all alone. At the line, it's shoveled to the near corner into the Hawk zone. Vlasic gets to it. Nice job. Falk turned it over. He gets tripped up. Seen by the back referee, and the Blues power play is going to get another chance to pull him in. It'll be their 5th power play of the game.
Chicago number 8, minor penalty for tripping.
Yeah, Falk's going to keep this puck in, and he's going to try to jump Donato there, and Donato's going to get his stick and skates involved. A little bit of interference, but a great poke check there by Falk. And then, yeah, you'll see Donato. He just grabs his stick and takes out that left skate of Justin. And now Jim Montgomery and Steve Ott trying to get organized. They're going to go back with the second unit. More of a shot mentality unit. Philip Broberg, Curves. He's going to be on this unit. He took some power play reps this morning, actually. So they're going to go with a bit of a different look here. Usually that is Justin Falk's spot, but it is clearly now going to be Philip Broberg there. Yeah. He's going to be the lone defenseman out there. I've been wanting to see this more often this year, and we're going to see it tonight.
So the Blues go to their 5th power play of the game. They had a game earlier in the year against Utah where they had 6 power play. It might have been Anaheim. It's the Anaheim Ducks. They had 6 power play chances. They were 0 for 6 in that one. Here they go on to their 5th power play of the game. Kyrou sends it in. They get it down along the wing as it goes to the far side. Shen is there. Up to the blue line. Broberg passing over to the near wing to Berggren. Berggren coming off the wall. Passing down to Berggren. Goal line. Shen into the middle. Trying to shoot it. He was jammed. Murphy makes the play. Oh, and it rolled past Berggren. Nearly had it. Good clear by Green.
Well, I like the presence right there for Philip Broberg. Some nice crisp passing on this near side. They had Shen down low. He tried to go between his legs. Similar goal to what we saw Juracek score a couple weeks back.
Broberg drops it off. Dvorsky goes far wing. Falk coming on with this second unit. Along the far side. They lose it, and now the Blues take a penalty behind the play, so things will get evened up here. Hawks play it back to their own end. Here's Crevier with pressure from Buchnevich. So from the turnover to a penalty, and the power play will end as Thomas will touch the puck on the far side. Now Buchnevich gets in to help with the whistle. Tripping's going to be the call against the Blues. Dvorsky to the box.
St. Louis number 54, minor penalty for tripping.
Yeah, and you can tell Chicago right there. They were trying to hold on to the puck as long as possible because they're still killing. And with the Poles goalie, it becomes a 5-on-5. They do a good job killing off another 15 to 20 seconds because every second that goes by is in one more second that they'll have a power play time.
41 seconds of 4-on-4. You know, they put Broberg out. You mentioned that on that unit. Cam Fowler's got 8 of his 15 points, all assists on the power play. But if your power play is 24th in the league and struggling and you're trying to change something up, well, you might as well see whether it's a Broberg or a Mayu or somebody.
You got to see what you have. You got to see what you have. I mean, you know what? As this year continues to string along and as this Blues team finds more and more inconsistencies at times and games you should have, maybe you're not having. I think, you know, you got to win games. You got to coach to win. But also, if, you know, you have young players that are on the bench and they're willing, you want to get a different look, you have to give that a chance as well. And that's certainly what we're seeing with Philip Broberg. But I liked him out there. He made some nice walk the line, made some good passes, some crisp, clean plays out of the zone. I'd like to see more of it.
So 4-on-4 hockey. Kyrou and Shen, Falk and Fowler. Bertuzzi wins the draw. Back to Lev Shunov. 5-2 Chicago. 4 minutes gone. Third period. Hawks with a 4-goal second period. Got 3 after Stenberg tied it up. Bertuzzi around. Fowler jams it into the middle. What a play. And it goes down to the corner. Now Lev Shunov put it on, and Bennington will make the save. Puck cleared. Kaiser to the front of the net. Knocked down by Bertuzzi. And up to the line it goes over to Kaiser. It's looking like his relative there. Todd in front of the net. Up to the blue line. Shot on. Bennington to save. He's going to swat the puck out of the air.
Yeah, this should be a penalty on Bennington.
Yeah. And it ends up going out of play, and the officials are going to huddle up.
Well, he made the save, and then the puck's right in front of him, and he swats it out of the air, and it goes over into the netting directly. And Nick Foligno's going to come over and plead his case. I think the right call really is a delay of game for Jordan. But they are going to discuss it. They want to make sure they get this right. Okay, you see the shot from the outside. It's a save, and it's a Binnington swat directly out. Yeah.
The penalty on the play is number 50 for St. Louis. Gets 2 minutes for delay game.
Yeah, it's such a hard reaction play for Binnington as that puck is sitting right in front of him. He's trying to swat it out of the middle and ends up going up into the netting. Well, Curb, moments ago, you have the Blues power play. You're up with the man advantage, an opportunity to get within 2. And then the Dvorsky takes a penalty on that power play, so you go back down to 4-on-4. And now you got Jordan Binnington with the puck over the net. And so now you find yourself right now with the Chicago Blackhawks with a 5-on-3 advantage. Boy, amazing how things can turn so quickly.
105 with the 5-on-3. Hawks go to work. Already with 2 power play goals. Shot on. Save made! Binnington put it on the ice. He's going to argue. Actually, the had the intent, but they negated the goal. Bertuzzi has a case.
I did not hear a whistle.
I didn't either.
Well, this is not a reviewable play. This was a quick whistle if it was. He makes the save, plays it to the defenseman, and right away gets put in. Boy, you wonder if this is a, sorry about the earlier call there. You know what I mean?
Wow, so the Hawks stick with a 5-on-3.
Yeah, that was the wrong call.
Green near side, Burakovsky. To the corner they go. Parayko Broberg killing with Sundqvist. The Hawks shoot, they score. Burakovsky. Power play. Yep, so that power play is going to end.
Yeah, low to high, Burakovsky just right down Main Street. Really no pressure. He's going to beat Jordan Binnington one-on-one. He's right at the top of the hash mark, picks his spot. I tell you, the Blackhawks have gotten a scouting report on Binnington. That's another goal. They beats him on that glove side, just over that left pad, low glove. Terrific shot right there. Now we're going to get organized here. Nick Foligno is going to be talking to Francis Chiron. Right when the goal went in, you saw Bertuzzi. He was the one that goal got called back. He's barking at Francis Chiron, and Chiron did not like it, and he put Bertuzzi away right away.
Was it a 10 or a 2 that they gave him? Because if it's a 10-minute misconduct, the Hawks stay on a power play for 1:27.
Well, they still have 5 bodies on the ice. I think they're just going to give him a 10.
So I think they gave him a 10-minute misconduct, as you said, Joe.
Yeah.
So Chicago's going to stay on the power play as they look for their 4th power play goal of the game. They've got 3. Hawks dump it down into the Blues end. It's off the end boards. Cleared around by the near wing and out of the zone. Well, Chicago, way back on October 15th, beat the Blues in St. Louis 8-3. It's now a 6-2 score here. Moore over the line to the middle. They shoot it on, and Binnington's going to cover it up with Grzelcyk, who's looking for his first goal. And then it's Moore coming in, bumping Tyler Tucker. And the Hawks are flexing some muscle and some attitude with a 4-goal lead.
Well, and they're not afraid to throw the puck at the net. They don't care if they put 6 on Binnington or not. You know, they are throwing pucks there. They're getting bodies there. We saw earlier Burakovsky bumping into Binnington. A pretty fearless Chicago group right now, and they got the confidence, as they should. 3 in a row. With the win here would make it 4 in a row.
.15 to go. We're in the 3rd. Chicago now shooting the Blues 32-21. As Moore sends it to the goal line, far side. Broken up by Buchnevich and cleared out. Down to 43 seconds to go, and the delay of game penalty against Binnington. He swatted the puck out of the air, and it went over the glass without being deflected. Grzelcyk to the far side, and this one's coming up the right wing. Foligno sends it in. Parayko behind the net. Moves it up to the far side. Broberg, what a play. Cleared it out. 2-on-1, shorthanded. Buchnevich right on, and Knight's going to make the save.
Yeah, 2-on-1, and Buchnevich ends up shooting this puck, which I think is the right call. The defender played it very well, and Grzelcyk goes long body, takes away the pass. Perfect long body there for Grzelcyk. Timed it well, took away the lane, forced 89 to shoot that puck. He goes far side. Knight makes that left pad save, and he quickly recovers that puck as Buchnevich, he was sniffing around for that rebound. Barely missed on that poke.
Puck deflected out of play off a shot from the faceoff. Joe, Blues outshot the Blackhawks, courtesy of those 3 power plays, 13-9 in the first. Blackhawks outshot the Blues 17-8 in the second. And again, the Blues had a partial power play here in this one, but St. Louis just had their first shot on goal here 6 minutes into the period. Here's another one off the draw. It's wide. Rico battles to hold it into the zone, and then it comes out. Donato frees it up. Burakovsky from Green and Teravainen on the power play goal for the Hawks.
Donato got bumped there again. Look at Benton. He's fired up. He's rattled. Donato clips him right as he's coming out of the net.
Blues jam it on, and Spencer Knight's going to make the save.
Yeah, here comes Binnington. It's a TV timeout. Kind of keep an eye on him as he gets to the bench. He had choice words for Sharon, and doesn't look like we're going to see anything just yet. So we're going to take our break. 13:04 to go. Blackhawks in control, up 6-2. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
This is John Bomarito. Your new car search starts at the Bomarito Automotive Group. We have hundreds more new vehicles than any other dealer in St. Louis. Search and buy online or in-store at our 20 locations. Bomarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at bomarito.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
88,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 645-2000.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life. Your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Circus Sports broadcast booth. We're in Chicago. Blackhawks are in a commanding lead, 6-2. 13:04 to go here. And it's been all Chicago since the start of that second period.
Yeah, ever since that power play goal on the non-high stick, it's the Blues take it off a face-off and it deflects out of the glass. They got the quick answer by Stenberg. If you're joining us, the Hawks scored on a power play on a completely missed high stick call. But then they got the answer 44 seconds later. Otto Stenberg with his first in the NHL. Unfortunately, Joe, that very next shift, Murphy with a slap shot that just beats Binnington off the glove.
Yeah.
And then the Hawks have rolled since.
Well, we've seen better nights for the referees, too. Francis Sharon and, of course, Brandon Schrader, they missed that high stick earlier. And, Sharon just had what was called an early whistle off the Binnington smother moments ago with Bertuzzi. Looked like he was going to get another goal here on the power play. They called that back. So it's been a little bit back and forth, disjointed game from both teams here a little bit and the referee. Dvorsky just takes a high stick. I think that one was missed. He's grabbing his mouth.
Still grabbing it as it comes around to the near wing. Kaiser puts it over to the far side. Blues are 0 for 5 on the power play in the hockey game. Pass to the near wing now, and At even strength, it's Mayu out of the zone. Just chucks it up ice to the far wing. Lev Shunov is going to go get it. 12:10 to go. Utah on Friday. Vegas on Saturday. And then the Blues are coming home. Monday, the Hall of Fame ceremonies. Blues Hall of Fame ceremonies. Arbor, Steen, Jackman inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame as the Blues ice the puck from their own end. And there's the whistle. That program, which is going to be live at the MEC, is going to air on Matrix Midwest live. So you can tune in if you want to see that. And then the Hall of Fame game the next day. And despite taking the high stick, I don't know whose stick it hit him, but Dvorsky's getting tended to by Ray Borelli. So instead of going to a potential 4-minute power play, it stays 5-on-5. Thomas into the middle, shoots it, and Knight makes the blocker save.
Yeah, nice little move to the middle. He cuts to the middle. That was terrific from Robert Thomas. Good edge work.
Worth noting, Joe, that except for the assist from Shen on the Tucker goal, you don't have any other point getters right now in your top 6.
No, and we said that coming into this period where you got Stenberg on the board, you got Tyler Tucker. You got a young man with his first NHL goal, and then Tyler Tucker, who's known more for his physicality, fighting, and defending. And once again, an issue here tonight.
Teravainen into the middle. They step up on Lardis. Tucker pokes it away to the near side. Kyrou will clear it out. Pass to Shen up the left wing to Neighbors. They move it over to the near side. Grizzlick's there. So we've seen just some more continued line juggling as we're 44 games in, and the Blues still trying to find combinations that just click. Rolls in on Binnington, and he'll hold on to the puck. 10:38 to go in the third.
Well, and you go to this first game of this road trip, you know, coaches are always standard across the board talking about, you know, you want to start the road trip off right. You always want to find a way to get that game. Whenever you get that first game, you always feel like, okay, we got some momentum. Let's start to build. You know, with the Blues here tonight, if they can't come up with a miracle with 10:38 to go and come up with 4 to 5 goals, they're going to be starting this road trip behind the 8 ball a little bit. And it's not a 2-1 loss in overtime either, Curve. This was a poor defensive effort, and a couple goals you want Jordan Binnington to certainly have back there too. And you know he's going to get one of the next 2, as it is a back-to-back.
Break on the near side. They get it in over the line. Toropchenko's going to send it in. Walker tried to get there in its center, and it's blocked to the wall. Green chops it into the middle, and Burakovsky has possession. Circles around to the near side. Hawks leading 6-2. Bright spot in the game for the Blues. We saw Otto Stenberg score his first career National Hockey League goal. 6 points in 10 games for Otto Stenberg.
Yeah, how about that?
Making a real interesting case to stay up with the club and force maybe a different roster decision if and when Bukestad or Holloway end up coming back towards the lineup.
Well, it was an interesting call-up, too, because he was clearly not one of the first ones they turned to this year, but he has made the most of it, hasn't he?
Behind the net, wraparound. Coming off of Kyrou, missed the net. Shen to Mayu, Mayu to Kyrou, Kyrou to the front of the net, off the post, and no luck on the bounce for the Blues. Neighbors was in front. It got behind Knight, but then rolled the angle to the post and wide.
Just a goofy bounce right there. Shen cannot tuck it away after it goes off the glove, the post, and it's just sitting there on the goal line.
9:04 to go in the third period. Blues go to break it out. Berggren had to wait for Kyrou to get to the bench on the line change. And the Hawks are going to get to the puck first in their own zone. And now they've got it on the stick of Dickinson. Picked up, cleared out. Over the far side, Mikheyev. Puck comes to the line. Murphy makes the play. Donato shoots it in on goal. Binnington will make the save, and he holds on. 8:31 to go in the third. 6-2 Chicago. Back in a moment. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
This is John Bomarito. We buy cars every day at the Bomarito Automotive Group. Your vehicle might be worth more than you think. Visit any Bomarito location or get started online at Bomarito.com. We sell more, we pay more, and you get paid today. Selling your vehicle has never been easier. That's what you expect at the Bomarito Automotive Group. A better experience, a better price. Bomarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group, and 24/7 at Bomarito.com.
Blues fans, Alex Ferrario here in our network studios. We'll get you back to the third period in a moment. But before that, a quick reminder that the party doesn't need to end at Enterprise Center after the final whistle. Every game, stick around for the Bud Light fourth period in the Anheuser-Busch Beer Garden, where they keep the beverages flowing and the live entertainment going for up to an hour after each game. Let the traffic disappear while you're still partying it up with friends and fellow Blues fans after each and every game. It's the Bud Light fourth period post-game in the Anheuser-Busch Beer Garden.
Tripping on the ice or tripping on uneven concrete around your home is bad. Louis Loves Woods to fix uneven concrete, and that's where you go for your free Woods Basement Systems estimate. LouisLovesWoods.com. That's Louis, L-O-U-I-E, LouisLovesWoods.com. Don't replace it, raise it. Concrete leveling with Woods Basement Systems. Go to LouisLovesWoods.com. That's LouisLovesWoods.com.
Joes, we welcome everybody back to the Circus Sports broadcast booth. Score notwithstanding, when you watch a player do a line change, and you and I have talked about this with Alex Steen, who harped on these kind of things going into the Hall of Fame and soon to be the general manager. When a player glides from the center ice logo to the bench on a line change and a player waiting to come on can't get that extra second jump, that's the difference in being level with a guy on a forecheck or winning a puck.
Well, it's a game of split seconds, and it's those little things that we talked about with Steiner in Ottawa this year about building on those small things, and because the little things certainly matter. And when you're not doing those little things, it doesn't add up to really big things. It also curbs not only the players that are doing it, but it's on the team. Guys on the bench to stand up and say, hey, get your butt off the ice. We got to go quicker. And I think right now for this team, everyone's looking their wounds, being down by 4. And I know the human psyche for players when you're down like this, no one wants to be the one standing up and making a lot of noise, and that's where you got to start stepping outside your comfort zone.
Dvorsky to the line. Tucker shoots it just wide. Puck to the near side now. Stenberg crashing after it. Berggren trying to get there. And in behind the net, it's won by Berggren. Brought to the blue line to the near wing. Falk takes a shot with his own player, Berggren, but he keeps it. Broken play. Takes it down to the far side. Circles the net again. Looking into the middle. Berggren to the line. Falk with a shot. Blocked over to the far side. Tucker pinched in. And he's been all over the ice tonight.
He has. I like this game.
Yeah. Dvorsky lost his stick. Kicks after it. Now Berggren digging in. Came off the wall with it. Got a piece of it. Stenberg reaching there, but they can't get to it. And Murphy will play to Burakovsky. Flips the backhand out of the zone. And the Hawks end up into the Blues zone offside. Man, those little plays, like the skilled players like a Burakovsky, to lift that little backhand play like that, get that puck out at such an angle, those aren't easy plays.
No, especially on the backhand.
Yeah.
A third period, ice is getting a little bit slushy. Those are the ones sometimes you see kind of fly over the glass, but those little plays off wall, little plays with puck. I mean, you see guys constantly messing with pucks and practice curves, pregame skates, warm-ups. It's just getting familiar with your skill, and certainly for Burakovsky, who's had a couple really nice shots and a goal here earlier in the period, he's got it going on.
Gaev enters the zone, 7:08 to go. Slap shot deflects into the middle. They score.
Montgomery's going to call Joe Hofer. He just turned around. So the goalies here at the United Center, they sit in the hallway. Yeah, they're going to rotate the goaltender here. Yeah, whenever games get like this, I always typically look right to the head coach. And they're trying to get Joe Hofer's attention. Again, it's one of the I think it's really the only venue in the league where the goaltender is not present watching the game live. You got a couple arenas, Montreal, Winnipeg, they kind of stand by the door. But this one, you're deep in the hallway. And yeah, they're going to go try to grab him. I don't think maybe he's ready. I don't think
he might be sitting down in his locker.
He may not be dressed too.
They just sent Jack back to get him.
Yeah, they are not going to play. Jim Montgomery, I mean, at some point you got to drop the puck though too, or else the Blues are going to get a delay of game. So yeah, still no hope for this. This is unfortunate for Binnington, who has to just wait in his net until further notice.
And Jim just called Binnington over, said, come on over, and the ref said, no, you got to drop the puck.
Yeah, they got to drop it. Oh, that's a tough place to be for Binnington. He tries to get Jim Montgomery, wants to pull him. Boy, you can't even pull your goalie right for Jim Montgomery tonight. That's not a good thing.
Puck coming up to the line. Vlasic with a shot. Glove save made by Binnington. So, to Joe's point, when you look from our vantage point, you can see the benches. The doors to the benches are in the middle of the benches. And then you go back down the hallway there. I just saw a pad, and then it went back the other way. So,
well, and it's worth noting, too, that yesterday, Jacob Markstrom played for the New Jersey Devils. He's the goaltender there. They lost 9-0. And he was in. Oh, boy.
Moving it in. Walker out of the air. Shoots and scores. That thing went under the bar. It popped up in the air, and Nathan Walker backhands it over the
my goodness, this is a thing of beauty right here. You got Toropchenko's going to hit the seam, go across the blue paint with that puck. It's going to go off the skate, and Nathan Walker, with unbelievable hand-eye coordination, bats this puck in. Yeah, and listen, they still don't have Hofer out there, so maybe Jim just, I mean, this is just an awkward situation for everybody, you know, because my best guess is that Joel Hofer he just wasn't ready to go. He probably just undid his straps. Maybe his skates weren't tied, or I'm not really sure of the situation. But what I was saying before was, you know, Jacob Markstrom was in for all night last night, and I know that Sheldon Keefe, the head coach, took a lot of flack for that. So I think this is a situation where I think Jim Montgomery's just trying to get Binnington out of there.
Falk down low in front. Kyrou bouncing puck towards Schenn. Neighbors to the blue line. Falk with a shot. And Knight the glove save. Schenn there for the rebound. 6:11 to go in the third period of play. I go back, when I see something like that, Manny Legacy was in goal. I believe it was a tough first period, and Andy Murray decided to change goalies going to the second, so he told Rick Walmsley, change goalies.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't tell Manny Legacy. I can't remember. I did ask Manny when I saw him one of the last times, but I can't remember who he told. I forget who the backup is off the top of my head. I remember if it was Curtis Sanford or Merrick Schwartz, maybe. I have to double check that one, but anyway, the backup goaltender ended up skating to Manny Legacy.
Had to tell him, didn't he?
Yeah, Manny had already cut up the crease. The backup goaltender comes out and says, "Hey, I'm playing," and then so Manny had to skate back to the bench because the coaches forgot to tell Manny they were changing the goalies.
Yeah, unfortunate one for Jim Montgomery and Jordan Binnington. Well, we're going to take our final break of this game. 7-3, Chicago in complete control of this game. Back in a moment. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
Heated seats, open roads, and music handpicked to get the whole crew hyped to hit the slopes. With Road Trip Radio's Ski Trip Mixtape, the drive up might just be the best part. The Ski Trip Mixtape from Road Trip Radio, Channel 301, and on the SiriusXM app. Tap in now and search Ski.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
If you're 500 right now, you must play over 600 hockey. How many of these 600 teams are sustainable? At the very end of the day, playing musical chairs, there's only going to be a few spots and way too many butts. And the teams that lose will make but. And I think for some teams, the math is already not on their side.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Johnson.
Just the nature of the NHL. As bad as things seem, as good as things seem, the NHL just has a way of leveling out. Everyone is doing okay. And it's just one real clump in the middle. No one's really separating. No one's really falling off completely.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Third period. We welcome you back to the Circus Sports broadcast booth. So we just saw something that caught on the TV cameras. We'll tell you about it here in just a moment as Sundqvist brings it up and dumps it in. Puck to the near wing. Walker going to the corner. Fowler got it back to the line. Toropchenko to Mayu. Waits to shoot. Took it in behind the net. Center to Walker. Missed his stick. Here's Toropchenko. Wow, a laser and a blocker saved by Knight.
What a great save that was. Toropchenko was in a great spot. Almost in that inside defenseman position. He laid into one. He just got another primary assist on the Walker goal.
So, unless what we just saw was a meme, it was and happened to be like the magic of television editing, and I don't think it was. And we'll continue in a moment here. The Hawks bring it in. I'm trying to understand what I just saw.
What I just saw.
Yeah. Here's Broberg bringing the puck over the line. Far side. Stenberg looking back to Broberg. Missed him. The stick went down on the ice. The television crew took a shot of Jim Montgomery with the door open behind him, and they go like, "Where's Hofer?" They zoomed down with the main game camera, and it looked like it was Hofer kind of looking around the wall like half his mask.
His mask was on.
His mask was on, almost like a kid would be looking down trying to sneak a peek at Santa Claus. And like,
almost like he knew it, but he didn't want to come out. Well,
oh, baby.
I can promise you I know some of the questions that Jim Montgomery is going to be fielding here in about 15 minutes or so, as we got 3:56 to go in this game. But you're right, Curbs. They showed the replay. We were on it right when that goal went in. I saw Jim, and he talked to Steve, and he looked down the hallway. He knocked on the glass, and he said, "Let's go." And you're waiting, and you're waiting, and you're waiting, and eventually the linesman said, "Hey, your goal is not ready. It's going to be delayed a game. We have to go." So they left Binnington in. So the next break, they come out, and Montgomery, they have a great close-up, like you said. He's looking, yelling down the hallway, and it wasn't like Hofer wasn't ready. It looked like he was in full equipment with his mask on. I guess he could be hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. That was weird. Hawks enter the blue zone. 3:42 to go. We're in the third. Chicago leading 7-3. Second thumping of the season by the Hawks. More to the near side. They come down along the wall to Lardis. Broken up, and the Blues, though, don't clear. Teravainen into the slot. Neighbors gets a hold of it over to Schenn. I had a really good talk with Jake Neighbors today about that Colorado game, and I saw Jake in the locker room, and he was just ejected in that game, and it was him saying, he told me he was just trying to put that one into perspective. And I loved what, you want to talk about a young leader in the making and the kind of player with attitude. He said, I just felt going into that game that that's the kind of game that could set us on a roll if we have the right performance, and I was just shocked with the performance we had.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a young player trying to process that sitting in a locker after a midseason game like that. And, man, that's the self-reflectiveness you want from a team that's trying to go through the rest of the transition.
Oh, you're doggone right. I mean, you were the one down there. You went immediately down to the locker room and asked Montgomery, and you talked to Oscar Sundqvist. I believe you said it was Jake that was just stunned in his stall, just sitting there, almost like he lost a playoff round.
Yeah, very much so. Here's Parayko at 2:17 to go in the third. Now Berggren onto the puck, circles back with it.
I mean, you are going to see that what we just saw. That is going to be.
That's not going away.
No, that is not going to go away for a very long time.
Parayko put it to the net from the near wall. Spencer Knight makes a save with 1:57 to go in the third period. Why don't you recap what we just saw? So after the Chicago Blackhawks got their 7th goal from this one from Crevier, it looked like Jim Montgomery wanted to make the change, and then the goalkeeper's seat sits back in the hallway. But you don't even see the Chicago backup goaltender anywhere near it, too. The locker room's right around the corner. They sent one of the equipment guys.
Well, the Chicago guy actually, it's right by Darren Pank.
Oh, he actually is sitting in the back corner there.
They have enough room there.
Yeah.
But for St. Louis.
So maybe there was something up with Joel prior to that. I don't know. But anyway, the TV cameras get the picture of a guy in a goalie mask and over his mask kind of peering around the corner. Puck to the front of the net, getting knocked down is Berggren. In behind the goal they go again. Berggren trying to center to Stenberg, who scored his first in the NHL, and the Hawks will win it. It goes to Murphy. One more meeting in the regular season between these two teams. That'll be on the 11th of April right here in Chicago. Tucker will bring the puck out of the zone. Now to Snuggerud, and he'll snap it into the far corner. Toropchenko. 1 minute to go in regulation here. Good crowd tonight in Chicago. Hey, when the Blues do score 5, you score $1 tacos the next day at Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill. 9 area locations. Hot Shots is a part partner of the Blues and St. Louis Sports Bar since 1990. 35 seconds to go. I like how Hot Shots has revived the taco promotion.
Yeah, I do too.
Over to the right side now, 30 seconds to go. Snuggerud breaks it up. Brings it up to the line. Over the line it goes. Now from Walker to Snuggerud. Shoots it. Hits the side of the goal. 19 seconds left. Chicago's going to clear it out. And all the way down with 13.1 seconds remaining. The faceoff coming back the other way.
Well, and for St. Louis, you're going to get some rest and get a little bit of recovery here tonight. Stay the night here in Chicago. Traveling tomorrow, of course, with the late start here at 8:52 puck drop, and traveling out west, they're going to stay the night. And like I said, travel day, no practice tomorrow, and certainly hope to turn their fortunes around here, and hopefully they got another good back-to-back set in them. We saw one earlier this year on the road there, Kurt, Ottawa, Montreal. We just came off of Montreal-Vegas one. Let's see if they can write this road trip in the right direction.
Blackhawks beat the Blues. 2-1 season series. The rivals here, and the Blues and Blackhawks will meet in April to wrap up the season series. It's off to Utah, another Central Division matchup. Coming up for the Blues on Friday as the Blues try to rebound from this one here tonight. Let's get the postgame show started. Alex Ferrario standing by.
All right, guys, thank you so much. We'll get back to you in just a couple of moments to get your final thoughts with the postgame breakdown. We'll have our Bud Light 3 stars of the game, Joe Vitale's work boots, and we'll have our postgame coverage on ESPN or Ted Drew's 3 takeaways. And our final look, all of it on our YouTube channel on ESPN STL. Blues fall to the Blackhawks this evening, 7-3. Postgame starts next. This is St. Louis Blues hockey.
What if your instincts could pay off?